brings on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason.
Carmichael Dave told us he'd be off today and tomorrow. He'll be back with us on Monday. We are here at almost the pinnacle of the sports year. We're getting close to basketball starting. Actually, it starts tomorrow with some preseason action. Kings, we have to wait a little bit longer. Baseball playoffs. Hockey's around the corner. Football's in full swing. College football. Good time. What a time to be alive. Look at us.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? Just look at us. Good morning to those of you on the YouTube joining us this early morning. Why are you guys awake so early? Why? But we appreciate you being here with us on this Thursday. Plenty for us to cover. It's the beginning of a new football week with week 5 tonight of the National Football League. We will discuss that today. It is Thursday. You know what that means? 7:30. We get to figure out what's going on in sports business.
Good at business.
He is. Kelly Brothers will join us a little bit later in the show at 7:30. We will have an opportunity for you to win tickets to Kill Tony, the Tony Hinchcliffe podcast.
Whoa.
Yeah. Who killed Tony? Do they still kill Kenny? I don't know anymore.
I don't think I've watched South Park in probably a good 7 to 8 years.
Pretty good bit at the beginning.
Actually, I would say no.
They don't?
I think that they
Or is he
stopped
killed?
that. I think that they stopped that a while ago, but occasionally they'll throw one in.
Okay. Because that was always a pretty funny bit, I would say, when it first started. And I would say of all the shows that ever, like, I'm not generally ever first to a show. Usually someone will say, hey, that one, I saw the first episode when it aired, just randomly. I'm like, what is this? And then I got onto South Park at the beginning, but I don't know how. I mean, I stopped pretty far in. I mean, pretty early on.
Well, we didn't have our cable system. We had some weird cable thing.
Back then?
Yeah, it wasn't like, it was like 97.
Yeah, I was going to guess 99, but okay.
It was like some sort of Comcast. It wasn't Comcast. It wasn't.
Something you wind up to get your TV going?
Something like that. It was weird. It barely had any channels, but the good thing it had like HBO and Showtime.
Did you ever...
But we didn't have Comedy Central.
Okay. I'm trying to see our generation difference. What is the earliest TV memory you have? Not as far as what you watch, but like the TV. Did you ever have a TV you had to change the channel?
I could sort of remember then it's weird. Like
at the front, by the box or whatever.
I did have a black and white TV in my room when I was a kid.
I did too.
But I remember I was probably either like 3 or 4. I do remember, and I don't even know if I remember, but it's just like a kind of a feeling or whatever. But like we had like an antenna with like a knob where you can change like what direction you want it to be. And kind of remember my dad moving that around at night and being able to see like San Francisco news.
Oh, so it's like, hey, we got a hack.
Yeah.
We figured out a way to gather information. When was the last time you saw a black and white TV? Maybe on TV, like some show that was showing something in black and white or something like that, or an older.
Oh, the most recent thing I watched was that movie Godzilla -1 on Netflix. They released a black and white version of it.
Actually, I wonder if that's kind of cool or not. I don't know.
It's different.
Yeah.
It somehow feels more grimier.
Okay.
Like I don't know how else to explain it.
I'm trying to think. It's funny that you had a black and white TV in your room. Like I remember, I don't even know where we got this TV. It was tiny, but it was like, you want this TV? And I'm like, absolutely. And to have black and white, I think I had like 4 channels. It didn't matter. I was so happy to have a TV in my room. I felt like I've arrived. I was probably in, I don't know, freshman or sophomore in high school, maybe. And to have a TV in my room was like the greatest thing of all time.
Yeah. I think it was my grandpa was a truck driver.
Okay.
And I think he was getting a new one.
Gotcha.
So it was just like, here, you can have this one.
And the development of TVs is such.
And like I remember watching like Jay Leno. It was like, what's weird, like the only thing I can remember in black and white watching it was The Tonight Show in Chicago, and Jay Leno was interviewing Michael Jordan.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, no, I'm not mistaken, because even in that TV I had, that's where I would hook up at that time. What did I have, like an Intellivision or something? So a gaming system, but you're playing who cares? Like I'm playing a video game in my room. Like this is the greatest thing of all time. And then I felt like I got a hand-me-down TV from my dad that was like a really top-end TV at the top. I would say when he got it, by the time I got it, it was one of those TVs that literally weighed, like we needed me, you, Dave, and probably one other person to get around the TV to lift. It was a big picture tube TV, but was nice. And then you're going, now TVs are just like one person, like 65-inch TV that you can just carry so easily.
At my grandma and grandpa's house, they had one of those. It was like the greatest thing ever. They had one of those projection TVs.
Yeah.
And so it would be, it was like so cool. So like every like boxing fight, wrestling pay-per-view, we would always watch it. But as it would get older, it would take longer and longer to warm up. So it would be like a good like 3 to 4 minutes to warm up to where you could actually see it. And I'll never forget this. It was my cousin Christina's birthday party, January 19th, 1994. I think 94. And it was The Undertaker versus Yokozuna in a casket match. And Undertaker gets thrown in the casket, and all of us little kids are like, oh my God, what is happening? And then like my aunt, my cousin's mom, was saying like, kept on saying like, hey, we have to sing happy birthday. We have to sing happy birthday. We have to sing happy birthday. And then she comes in and turns the TV off, and all of us lost our mind. Run into the kitchen, sing the fastest version of Happy Birthday ever, sprint back into the living room, turn on the TV. It's not loading. We're like, what's happening? What's happening? My uncle says, The Undertaker's out of the casket. We're all losing our minds. And we missed it.
Worst timing ever.
Ever.
The things we remember.
My cousin, she was at the A's game with us on Thursday, and I made sure to remind her of that, which she completely forgot. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
This wasn't the McGruber cousin.
No.
Okay. Yeah.
His sister.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I mean, just even and then over time, like the developments too, I remember, I'm trying to remember who the first person that had an HD TV. I'm like, I
remember.
What's the difference?
I remember. Oh no, I remember like the first time
right
seeing the difference, because it was like too much.
Yeah,
it was like it felt too real.
It was weird, because I think, you know what I'm remembering is I think they had an HD. Were there 8? Yeah, there had to be HD channels that just not that many people had, but regular
or like an
channels.
HD DVD.
Yeah, it was something like that. So I think we switched a football game from HD to regular, and regular was fine. Then we went there. I'm like, whoa. And like you could see like almost like the blades of grass. I'm like, oh my God, this is, and then now you just
my friend Jimmy's, he got like the top of the line TV, and I was watching it. I'm like, and it was The Hangover. I'm like, this is too much. Like
stimulation overload.
Because it's just like it looks like you're looking through a window. I'm like, I can't handle this.
Yeah. And then the other one, I had the hardest concept believing like another revolution in TV. It was like when TiVos came out. I'm like, wait, I don't understand how does that work? How is it? I don't understand how you could pause it. Like, just because, we've had recording at that time and you had to record the old school way, like off a VCR, but it just didn't make a lot of sense to me. And honestly, our TiVos are still around, aren't they? Or,
I've got a TiVo.
You do?
But it's a
like an updated.
No, it's a it's like a Roku or like a Fire Stick. They started doing that. So it was when I got YouTube TV. Gotcha. And they had some deal of just like, hey, we'll give you a $50 TiVo 4K TV, whatever, for free.
Yeah. And then now, I mean, the way people consume TV, whether it's streaming shows to watching shows recorded or paused, I mean, it's just a different way.
Could you imagine it not having that now?
No. I mean, the beauty of that, like literally yesterday, we're trying to get out for a walk. It's like, oh man, this Padre game's getting pretty, you know what? Pause. I mean, it's the easiest, like, or record if you want. And I'm like, all right, let's go. And I don't mind watching things.
Or now you could be like, oh, let's go for a walk. I'll just watch the rest on my phone as we're on our walk.
That's true. Or yeah, I mean, I'm always checking the scores, and if like, oh, it stayed the same, do I have to watch it? No, didn't seem like there was too much that went on, or this did go on, or wait, the score changed that dramatically. I definitely have to go back and check to see what happened there. So yeah, it's a different time. I would say probably for the better, but one show we just started, and this is how great. I can't remember the exact title of the show, to be honest with you.
English teacher.
No, Fight Night. It's with Kevin Hart, Samuel L. Jackson. It's basically based on a true story of the Muhammad Ali fight in Atlanta.
Oh, okay. It's on Prime?
Peacock.
Peacock, huh?
Yeah.
And is that the one with
Don Cheadle
and Terrence Howard?
Yes.
Where he has that crazy hair when he was being interviewed, and everyone was like, what happened to him?
Oh, he was interviewed.
This is like a while ago, and no one knew about the show.
Gotcha.
So they're like, what is he doing?
Which is probably like Terrence Howard from what you hear, but I think we're maybe 2 to 3 episodes in. It's getting better by the episode, and I don't know what it normally takes for you. Like, I don't know. So the first episode was like, okay, I can see something here. Second one, oh, and then like the third, I'm like, okay, I'm in. I got to see how this. And I think it's 7 or 8 episodes. So.
It takes like 2 to 3, and then if it doesn't have me, I'm like, okay. The one I gave
turned down.
The one I gave like the most amount of rope to was what was that TV show that everybody liked with the dragons?
Oh, Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. Yeah. Like I watched almost the entire first season, and like my friends are like, you gotta watch it, you gotta watch it, you gotta watch it. I'm just, this isn't for me. Like I'm not into this. Sorry.
And then it was, or no, or you never got.
No, I never got into
it. It's not for me.
Yeah,
I already know that, but I mean, it's bad to have that thought going.
It's a period piece.
Exactly. And I'm out. We will be out here for a moment because when we come back, we got to tell you what's going on today. We got leading off. We're going to get some reaction from Kings training camp is underway. Like we mentioned earlier, we will hear from Kelly Brothers. Sacramento State continues to make more and more announcements, so we will talk about that. We've got all our benchmarks of safer out, 3 for madness, streaking, 4 down territory, all that, Niners and 9, and so much more. We take you till 10. Then we got Styles and Watkins coming in for little crosstalk and celebrity birthdays. A full show coming your way. We start with leading off next.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SactownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Styles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SactownSports.com.
When shopping for a new car, what do you want? A great selection? A low monthly payment? More for your trade? At Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda, you get it all.
Model year-end savings are going on now. It's savings you just can't say no to.
Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Number one claims based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company. Sold on report.
Hey, what's up, Sacramento? It's Kyle Draper. Turn up the cleanliness at your restaurant, healthcare, or industrial business with Alsco Uniforms, the official sponsor of the Sacramento Kings Mop Crew. We've got you covered with crisp uniforms, hygienically clean linens, floor mats, and of course, mops delivered weekly. But that's not all. Alsco Uniforms also offers weekly services for first aid and restroom supplies. Discover why it pays to keep clean with Alsco Uniforms. Just go to alsco.com to learn more. Again, that's ALSCO.com.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Let's do it. Leading off, the 3 top stories in the morning.
Huge news. This is very important.
Here's cut number 1.
With a 4th inning double last night, that was their only extra base hit in game 1. Pops it up, foul ground first base. Up the line, Higashioka makes the catch, tumbles over Solano. He held on. The game is over, and it's on to Los Angeles. The Padres have swept the Atlanta Braves in the Wild Card Series, and they will play game 1 of the NLDS at Dodger Stadium on Saturday night. 5-4 over Atlanta, and send the Padres to the next round of the 2024 postseason.
I think you knew it as it had been going on for the last couple of days, and then certainly by the end of the game yesterday, when the beat LA chants, the familiar beat LA, no matter what city, no matter where people want to beat Los Angeles, San Diego wants the Dodgers. They may not beat them, but they want to. They want to beat them. They've knocked them out before. And San Diego, LA, that's always been a big brother, little brother rivalry. San Diego and the people of San Diego have always been kind of chill and relaxed. And yeah, we're definitely not LA. They want that separation, but they want the Dodgers. They're going to get the Dodgers, and the Padres are a problem. That's a good baseball team. And watching them the last couple of days and even going in, that fan base, I mean, Dave and I had the question yesterday, like, is that the best atmosphere? Like in this first round? Yes, it is. And a bunch of these series are already over. 3 of the 4 are done. We got 1 game 3 today. But that atmosphere was fantastic. When that first inning, they got bases loaded and nobody out and didn't score, I thought, oh, man, these are the kind of games you're just going to kick yourself for not scoring. Then they did the same thing with 2 outs in the second inning and just broke through after not really getting any significant kind of hits, all these infield hits. Then they started getting the big hits and built a nice lead, were able to hang on, and the Padres and Dodgers will get a chance to meet up to see who goes to the National League Championship Series. The Phillies will be on the other side of that bracket awaiting the Mets and the Brewers. Brewers got a clutch come from behind win yesterday to force today's game 3, the only series that is going that far. But baseball playoffs fully in action, kind of giving us the best of baseball. And I know there's a lot of you that have stopped watching baseball. Maybe some check in periodically if you have a team or a player, or if some of you still play fantasy baseball. Maybe not as many of you that used to do that, but because that used to be where fantasy sports kind of started.
If you continue to play fantasy baseball, I think you should be on some sort of list that the government has to monitor.
Okay. Where do I sign this form, Chris? Is it, you gave this to me earlier. Here it is. What am I signing here?
Just for the government to keep an eye on you.
Okay, but I like to kind of know, like, that's all they're doing. Or are they checking my phones?
Yes.
Are they?
Well, they already are. So.
Okay. What else?
I think as soon as you sign up for the Yahoo Fantasy Baseball.
Is it different if it was ESPN?
No.
Oh, okay. Wow. Social. I have to write an essay? What was the last
They
time
just need to make sure that you're cognitive.
Yes.
I think I've only
need
played.
to make sure I'm cognitive.
In high school, there was some weird, it wasn't like fantasy baseball where you like pick teams. It's the one where you get like a budget.
Oh yeah. Gosh, I used to love that. If it's the same site,
and
like
the thing
Sandbox or something.
I don't remember. I think it was through like ESPN, but it'd be one thing where you buy someone,
right, and their value could go up.
And their value could go up. But the thing, it was like the luckiest thing in the world for me because I had like the Red Sox pitching, where like Nomo was on the team and he had like a no hitter, and like Derek Lowe had a no hitter like the same year.
Yeah.
I had Barry Bonds. Like I had like this insane lineup, like Pudge Rodriguez when he hit 50 home runs.
Yeah.
And what was the other one that Albert Pujols as a rookie, just because I had no money left and I just needed a third baseman. And I threw him in there and I was like killing everybody. But then my friend's dad was in the league and he just had all day to like tinker with everything.
Watch out for the tinkerers.
And just destroyed everybody. Yeah. And like I was destroying everybody, but I couldn't do anything because like if I sold someone, I was like insanely over budget to where I couldn't get anybody else.
So if I'm not mistaken, wasn't it like, so let's just say you got a player for, I don't even know the values, but let's just say 50,000, whatever, because you did have a budget, but the player's value went up to 150,000 and you traded the player. You were up like 100,000. You could now buy $150,000 player.
It was weird.
Okay. Because that's the one I was.
Yeah,
like,
that was
almost like stocks. Like if your value started as like a.
Because I remember there was a point like I couldn't get rid of my players basically.
Oh.
Because I would be over budget.
Because the one
like you had to. This is like now that I'm talking about it was a stupid way it was set up because you would have to sell your player at what they were worth to begin with, and then. I was like whatever percent over budget, so I couldn't even buy like another player, and I couldn't buy that player back because they're now ranked at whatever.
I thought that was the point. It was almost like the stock market, so you could actually make you're not literally making money, but your team value went up. And the last time I remember playing, I think kind of like you got Pujols as a rookie, I picked up Trout early in his rookie season, so he was really low value. I'm like, this guy seems pretty good. Got him. And then his value skyrocketed. I don't know if I traded him, but at that point, or dumped him and picked up another player at that value. But that's the kind of thing you could do once you built your roster.
Yeah, that wasn't this.
But I don't play that anymore. That one's gone. Just a regular old psychotic fantasy baseball league. All right, cut number 2.
Cut number 2.
Well, the Orioles will get one more swing from their best player, Gunnar Henderson. They're facing as much adversity as they've faced all year now. One out left of adversity. He struck him out! And the Kansas City Royals move on to the division series. For the second straight year, the Baltimore Orioles end their season at the hands of an opponent who sweeps them out of the postseason.
They've kind of been baseball's darling for the last couple of years, the Baltimore Orioles. And they're a great story. They got great young talent, but they're out. And this little old American League Central that a lot of people made fun of, mainly because the White Sox. But here's 3 of the 4 teams that are left in the American League representing the American League Central. The Guardians won the division. They had a bye. They were waiting with the Yankees. But yesterday, the Detroit Tigers advanced. The Kansas City Royals advanced. Man. And so the Astros are gone. The Orioles are gone. The Braves are gone. Baseball whittling down. We'll have one more gone today, either the Brewers or the Mets. So the American League Central representing themselves, 3 of the 4 teams in the American League playoffs remaining come from the Central. All right, cut number 3.
Cut number 3.
A 58-yard try to win the game with 7 seconds left. Pinion to hold, McCullough to snap. Snap spot. Kick from Koo is away. And it is good! 58. And the money shot for Younghoe Koo.
That was last week in the victory over the Saints for the Falcons. And Thursday night football, week 5, tonight.
Can you believe we're already here?
I mean, gosh, this is going to
October, and it's already week 5 of the NFL.
I mean, week 1 just flew by, and then 2, and then 3, 4. And
Can you believe that we're here already?
It's
unbelievable.
My goodness. Did we play that over the air?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
That's Mike Francesa.
Yeah, and literally there was a video, or was it an audio put together of
I think it was both. Yeah, it was video
of his show. I'm assuming last year, but it basically was probably a Thursday show for him. Like, oh wow, week 4, can you believe it?
Every
week
single
7,
week.
Can you believe that? Week 8, how fast is this year? Can you believe it's week 9 already?
We're already in week 10.
Yeah, and literally in some version of those statements, can you believe it? We're already here. This is going too fast. I can't believe it's this. It's week 12. Man, this is flying by. And they put it all together, and there he was each and every week from Mike Francesa. But yes, week 5 of the NFL begins tonight, Tampa and Atlanta, and that game can be heard right here on Sacktown Sports tonight. Can you believe it? We're already here. So we will talk about that game, talk about the 49ers matchup with the Cardinals. Devonte Adams, still a Raider, but for how long? All that, so much more. When we come back, the Kings, they have begun practicing. They're getting themselves ramped up. They're getting themselves ready. Reaction to training camp day 2. We'll do some of that when we come back right here on Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Don't let summer energy slip away. Live the active life you love year-round with a personally fit arch support system from the Good Feet store. Precision engineered to support all 4 arches. Good Feet puts your feet in a more ideal, comfortable, and pain-free position. And Good Feet arch supports are now HSA and FSA eligible. Book a free fitting at goodfeet.com or come in and get a free pair of OS First Performance socks. Free. Normally a $25 value at the Good Feet store.
Model year-end pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the model year-end event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Tired of ads interrupting your favorite news podcasts? Good news! Ad-free listening on Amazon Music is included with your Prime membership. Stay up to date on everything newsworthy with podcasts like The Daily, Up First, and 5 Things Uninterrupted at amazon.com/ad-free. Just head to amazon.com/ad-free to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you're always looking for ways to position your operation to create opportunities and move on them faster. With Bank of America, you get access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
What sets Ashton & Price apart from other injury law firms? I'll tell you. From beginning to end, all important legal decisions are made directly between our clients and their experienced local attorney. A gate agent flying the plane, the receptionist performing surgery, not a chance. There's simply no substitute for the unique power of the direct attorney-client relationship offered by Ashton & Price. And there's never a fee until we win, and between you and me, we win a lot.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Hey, October's already heating up on the Sacktown Sports live events calendar. Enjoy family fun at Dave's Pumpkin Patch in West Sacramento all month long. Pick your perfect pumpkin, navigate the corn maze, jump on a massive jumping pillow, and create unforgettable memories for the kids. On October 20th, don't miss Renee Vaca at the Crest Theater for a night of laughs and entertainment. And mark your calendar for Sinners and Saints, the region's best Halloween party on October 26th at the venue at Thunder Valley, complete with a $5,000 costume contest. It's the most spooktacular event of the season. Looking ahead into November, join us for Legends of Motown at the venue at Thunder Valley November 23rd, bringing you the classic hits that defined a generation. And you're not going to want to miss the Jersey Boys Midtown Men Holiday Show December 8th, also at the venue at Thunder Valley. It's going to be a night filled with festive cheer and old school classics. And stay tuned to Sacktown Sports for all your live event updates and your chance to win tickets.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Call or text at 916-339-1140
on Sacktown Sports.
From our text line, we were talking earlier about televisions, Chris and I. Great in television pull, Swords and Serpents, and Pitfall. I had Pitfall. I didn't have Swords and Serpents.
Pitfall, I had a cousin that had Pitfall.
Pitfall was a fun game.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was. I mean, it was at the time. Like, I wonder just now.
It's crazy. Like, the mind you, it's like, oh my, there's alligators?
Yes. How can this be? I can swing across a vine to get to the other side. Wow. I was down in Southern California, I don't know, probably a couple of months ago. I got together with a couple of high school buddies, longtime friends, and we were in
went to Rico's Tacos.
What's it called?
I don't remember.
Not Rico's.
Kiko's?
Not Kiko's.
Pico's.
Not Pico's. Think of a vodka.
Tito's?
Tito's
Tacos.
There you go.
I forgot the alliteration.
Yes, Tito's Tacos. I'm trying to think if you would like them. I don't know why you wouldn't. You like tacos. But do you have like what would be a perfect describe what a good tasting taco is to you?
Like, it's got to be a street taco. Like, it should be gone in 3 bites.
Well, it's not a street taco. Yeah. So you prefer street tacos, the little tortillas.
Mm-hmm.
Why do they make 2 tortillas? Just to hold it better?
Be able to hold it, yeah.
I
like all of them. Like Jimboy style tacos. I like.
Oh, I'm trying to think of the last time. I don't even know if those are good, but I eat them. Jimboy's tacos. Oh, yeah.
It's a Sacramento institution.
It is. I've always gotten. Do they have chicken? I've always had the ground beef there.
Yeah, that's all I've had. Yeah, I'm sure they do.
Yeah, probably do. But when we were down there in Southern California, Chris, we came across a place. One of my buddies knew. He goes, we had some time to kill, and he's like, let's check this place out. And it was an old school retro. I guess they had an arcade in the back. We didn't go to the arcade, but they had like basically every type of video game and gaming system. And so they had more of the current stuff, but they also had anything that probably anybody from any age range has seen. And so they literally had stuff. They had Atari gaming systems, Atari games, and television, ColecoVision, Nintendo, Game Boys. Like, it's weird to see play. And they just had it everywhere in different kind of systems. That was a blast from the past to see it. Now, we didn't play anything, but just to see the games, what it looked like, the cartridges, what you remember them to be, and then to see what things are now, it's a little different. But thank you for that text.
I'm checking out the Tito's Tacos out there. I think I'd give it a whirl.
Let me see on your. I see from here. I can tell you if it's really the. Yeah, I already could tell. It's the yellow background. It's weird because the one I would really like to check you on and see is if you would like their salsa. It's the kind of, like, you could just drink it. It's different. It's not.
Then it's not spicy enough.
No, it's not spicy at all. But I've always liked that. That's one, like, you kind of attached to your youth or something you've had forever. You're like, this is so good. And other people are like, it's fine.
Oh yeah, that's I've gotten to the point of like, oh, I understand that now, because there's a place on Fruit Ridge that my family has been going forever.
So you love it.
Caballo Blanco. And it's like, tastes exactly the same. It's just like, this is incredible. And it's really like, oh, you remember going here all the time with your family and stuff like that. And we still go there to this day, but I could not tell you if other people liked it.
Yeah, so if I went today, I mean, I like Mexican food. I probably would like it, but I don't know if I'd go, yeah, it's fine. It's good. You know, that's the thing. That's the thing that we have those memories that you take with you forever. And the Kings are trying to make more memories this season. Going into a season where there are expectations, I think that's fair. I think it's really, really interesting, kind of the narrative on the Kings, because I feel like you could take out Sacramento Kings and insert another team from the West and say, if these things happen, if these things fall in place, this team could be a top 6 team. If these things don't happen, if some injuries occur, if they don't kind of all connect, this team might be fighting for the play-in. And I think you can honestly do that. I really believe for almost every team in the West. And some people are like, oh, no, they're a lock. Probably I would think most people today, if you're picking, if we're trying to have the most unbiased group of people, and I can ask our YouTubers and texters, and, you know, I know there's a lot of Kings fans there, but if you had to say a team that you feel with the most amount of confidence, Dave always does that $250,000 cash. You've got it. You have to bet it. What's the team you're betting on to be the 1 seed or to guarantee a top 6? I feel like most people would pick either OKC or maybe Denver. And maybe I'm wrong on Denver, because I could see a few things going a little bit more against Denver than they have in the past. But when you have Jokic, when you have Murray, when you have Porter, when you have Gord, that group, and Coach Malone, it's hard to not see them making the top 6. But let's paint a scenario where Jokic misses a month. That's a different team. I'm not hoping for it. I don't think it's going to happen, but injuries change teams. And I think OKC is kind of a little bit of that darling, and I can see why. I definitely can. But it doesn't even have to be a significant injury. It doesn't have to be SGA. Maybe it's 2 guys are off years and maybe a little bit banged up. And is that team number 1? I don't think so. But are they 4? Are they 9? Are they just 2? I think that's the one where you could insert in the West and say there are a lot of teams that are capable of having big years. And I think the Kings are one of them too. So they've been working out. They've been trying to get themselves prepared for this season. And let's hear from a guy who's always got some stuff to say about how things are looking so far. And how about Malik Monk? What does he see with this team right now?
I already see it, man. Like you said, I've been here for a little minute. I seen when teams were bad. I seen when teams were okay. I seen when we were good. So I'm looking forward to it.
What's maybe like a trait that sticks out when you know that things just are right? Like is it a trust? Is it
when we plan, there's not that many turnovers. We go out there and we not played them together, and it's not many turnovers. So yeah, you will know then. Just because how togetherness and how the game is just flowing. So yeah, you can see it easy.
Yeah, so Malik sees some good things going with this team right now. How about a couple of practices? They've had just a couple so far as a group, even though for the most part, I mean, this is a lot of the same faces we've seen and same guys getting a ton of minutes. And with the incorporation now, obviously, of DeMar DeRozan. But here's Malik talking about the first couple of practices.
Like the first day of school is always boring. Might be talking too much. And yeah, just a lot of learning. But it's fun, though, just to get back going, back in the practice gym, just getting back up and down with the guys. It's fun.
Like the first day of school. Remember those days? I always liked the first day of school. I always looked forward to it, but it was really to see the friends that I hadn't seen maybe over the summer. There's always a group of friends maybe you were connected with that you saw no matter what, but then there's other people like, man, I haven't seen him all summer or seen her all summer, whatever it might be. But they're all back together. Incorporating DeMar DeRozan will be one of the wrinkles this team is going to have to do. I don't think that's going to be much of an issue, and I've seen people talk about that, about fit. I think DeMar DeRozan has incorporated himself quite nicely when he left Toronto into San Antonio, did the same when he went to Chicago. I think this team inherently shares the ball. And I think what you've got to try to do is find out the best things that DeMar DeRozan can do for you while still being true to what you do as an offense. And if they could keep the spacing and the ball movement and at times get the ball to DeRozan where he likes it most and can work and take advantage of some of the things in his mid-range game and the free throws and just being a great scorer in this league, one of the great scorers, to me, these are good problems to have. They're still a little bit undersized as a team. I think they know that. They realize that. I think that's kind of where the league has gone in some respects. But I also realize there'll be certain nights you go, man, their size and their height, just overall height by position, hurts them. I think if you get in the wrong matchup, if they make the postseason, that could be a bigger issue. But you also just go into the season knowing where your strengths are, trying to adjust to your weaknesses. And the front office will be looking at this on a game-by-game basis, and deadline still months away. There's other ways to tinker and to see where you can get better. But this is just the beginning of this group, of this season, and more practice to come. We're going to have another segment or two on the Kings and what we can expect and kind of more thoughts from practice coming up. But when we come back, we've got safe or out. These are baseball-related questions. The playoffs are here. The best of baseball is around. We'll get into that. We'll talk about that with 3 comments and safe or out coming your way next here on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
Where do you go when you need someone to represent you? For me, you want someone that is local and that you can actually get to and talk with. There are plenty of big branded lawyers out there with the name, but you never get to talk to them. So go to saclegaldefense.com and connect with the law offices of Jonathan Gonzalez. He's local, he'll represent you, and he'll have your back. Whether it's expungements, wrongful termination, when you're in a spot when you need legal help, call the law offices of Jonathan Gonzalez at 916-304-9187.
Disasters hit every day. If your home, business, or building has suffered from any disaster, SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to and letting your focus be on what's most important, your family or your business. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884. Hey, movie fans, the sequel we've been waiting for is playing at the Esquire IMAX Theater in downtown Sacramento. Joker, Fully Adieu, the IMAX experience.
2 years ago, the name Arthur Fleck hit Gotham like a hurricane.
Joaquin Phoenix reprises his role and is joined by Lady Gaga.
Going crazy for you.
Experience this psychological thriller with heart-pounding audio on the Esquire IMAX 6-story screen.
Let's get the people what they want.
Grab your tickets early for Joker, Fully Adieu at IMAX.com/Sacramento and reserve your seats today.
Safe or out? It's time to go around baseball. 3 pitches, 3 swings. It's safe or out on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
All right, safe or out time. Still to come, we will hear from Kelly Brothers about 45 minutes from now. Talking sports business with him. And more on some news developing around Sacramento and Sacramento State. It seemingly is happening every day. The Hornets have a bye week this week, but doesn't mean the news around the football program and the sports program isn't.
Where's UCLA playing?
Where is UCLA playing? Yeah. They're at Penn State. And for the better part of, I would say, I eliminated the thought probably a couple weeks ago, but we were really going to go. I was going to go. I'm like, the bye week, let's see where UCLA, at Penn State. This was maybe back in the summer, and then I was really kind of looking at it. So here's what ended up happening. There's a couple other things personally wise that are going on with our family right now. But, Chris, what is it? Oh, the Steelers are hosting the Cowboys in Sunday Night Football. And maybe the Eagles are home. I don't know. But, so to get to Penn State, it's doable. I cannot believe how expensive a hotel is just for like Saturday night.
Oh, yeah.
Friday, Saturday night in a college town. And you just go, what? I mean, what would be a rough guess?
I would say $200 a night.
That's your guess?
Well, that's what I think a hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going, and things go up, but I'm like, can I get one for like 100, 150? Okay, 200. If I get to 250, okay, it's a trip. It's a memory. 1,300. And just like, you're going to get it from people. I'm like, yeah, between that and we got some other things going on, I'm like, it's just going to be too much.
Oh, man.
Because it was like, okay, you're already doing the flight. You got to get the ticket.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is.
I would think the flight would be the most expensive part.
That's what I thought. I'm like, how is the room for one night? And then you're like Airbnb, but some of those were better. And you could find a few things that were better, but a lot of
where
times.
you're like sharing a place or someplace.
Like, share a back seat. I'm like, okay.
I did do that in London for it was like $50 a night, which me and my friend split.
Describe the sleeping arrangement.
There's 2 beds in a room, but there's like 4 other. It's basically like a big apartment, and there's like 4 rooms with 4 separate living situations.
Closed off or no?
No. Well, I mean, like doors, like.
Okay, but you had your own, just 2 beds in one room, but then like you went
and
to
there's
a
like
common room?
Yeah, there was a common room, and then there was a shared kitchen and a shared bathroom.
That's okay.
Yeah.
One night or?
Couple nights.
Okay. How much did you see the other people?
We didn't.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
But it was definitely sketchy.
Yeah. Would you do it again?
If I had to.
The price was good.
Yeah. Because like London is, you want to talk about expensive. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And we were like, I asked my friend, he used to live there. And I'm like, hey, do you know what part of London this is? And he just sent me a picture of Jack the Ripper. Apparently that's where Jack the Ripper killed all those women.
Like, check please. Yeah. I mean, your lodging should not be more than your flight.
Yes.
It just should not. By rule of thumb, I'm like, come on, what are we doing here? So anyway, but that would have been fun. I don't know if they have the whiteout weekend. I don't think that's what this is, but there's something else about like I think the whole stadium would have been maybe white and are they dark blue or black, whatever Penn State's kind of looks like. That'd have been fun, but also I think UCLA would have lost by about 70 this weekend. But anyway, yeah, by week 4, the Hornets, they'll be back in action next week. Let's do it. Chris, question 1 from Safer Out.
Having only one game 3 in the wild card round is bad for baseball. Safer out.
I mean, I guess safe. You'd rather have more like game 7 feels. So the elimination games too. You have one at least. There was 3 sweeps, 1 that's still going on, Brewers and Mets. The baseball still was pretty good over the last 2 days. So that baseball's got that, and they've got the bigger, not better teams per se, but more important series still to come. So this is just part of it. I've seen some people say this is where baseball kind of can't win. And I'm here going to defend baseball. Some people go, how can you play 162 games and have a 3-game series to decide? I go, they used to have 1.
Yeah.
And then the other part is, the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Guardians, the Phillies, they have to wait 9 days until they play. I'm like, well, do you want a longer series and they wait 15 days? Like you that's the way the sport works. Football is seemingly perfect. The NBA has just jumped in for all series being 7 games. I don't know any other way to make it better.
I mean, I can't see adding more teams, but I think that's the only way to work would be add more teams so there's not a bye. Because that's the thing is baseball is such a game of like every day, this is what we do.
Right.
And then when you have that time off, it actually at a point, it hurts you.
Yeah, and to have 1 game I felt was unfair. I remember back when the A's were in that a couple times, we'd have Ken Korak, the longtime voice on. He's like, actually, I love it. I love the drama of 1 game, but I didn't think that was fair for 162, and then it's 1 day. I mean, that's a great pitching outing. The hit's not working, and you're out. This is a little bit more true to a season, but you might be right, Chris. If it wouldn't be bad to have more teams, to have that many games and have, I guess, 2 more teams in each league make it. And then I guess the risk you run is, the Yankees or Phillies who had the best record, or Dodgers did, that they could lose in the first round. But so why not? They should be able to lose in the first round if you played a best of 7. All right, question 2.
Getting the Dodgers and Padres is great for baseball. Safer out.
Now, this is probably safe. This is great. Now, baseball has become more and more regionalized. Maybe people in Boston, in St. Louis, good baseball communities. I don't know, Chicago. Do they care about Dodgers, Padres? Maybe not. But out west and Southern California, that is going to be a big deal. And the Dodgers are a big brand. The Padres, I think, become a brand that people will watch and go, man, that's a pretty good baseball team. That's a pretty good baseball town. They're really into it. And they so desperately want to beat the Dodgers again. So I think it's good. I think people will be able to clearly pick a side of who they're rooting for. If you're a Dodger fan, of course you want the Dodgers. But there'll be people out there like, oh, anybody but the Dodgers, just like I know anybody but the Yankees. So, yeah, I think that's good for baseball. I think it should be a good series. And it might be, with apologies to the Phillies, I mean, two of the best teams going. That's going to be a lot of fun. So that is safe. How about number 3?
Well, since you brought that up, how about I ask you number 3 here, safe or out? Every non-Yankees fan will be rooting for the Royals, Tigers, or Guardians in the American League.
Well, with that one, I guess I have to ask you. You don't like the Yankees?
No. And I will be rooting for all of those teams over the Yankees. But there's going to be some dorks out there that are like, oh, well, baseball's actually better when the Yankees are doing well.
I'm not sure I believe that. I mean, I want the Yankees.
There's a certain percentage.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm not saying it's a big percentage.
But, I mean, if we realistically looked at it from baseball, if they're trying to get the most amount of people watching, I believe the Yankees-Dodgers would be the highest potential viewing. I believe. But it will be interesting because as this goes along, there'll be several days where the baseball playoffs are going on during NFL, an NFL Thursday night or an NFL weekend or college football or the beginning of the NBA. I just kind of want to see where those numbers fall for baseball, which at one point was the biggest sport. It's not anymore. But I think Dodgers-Yankees would be great for baseball, but I don't even know what that means. I think that's also a very short-term thought because I think for the 2 weeks, let's say if the Dodgers and Yankees make it to the World Series, I think a lot of eyeballs will be on it, but I don't know if there's a single bit of carryover into next year.
What's funny is as you're like, I wasn't even thinking about that because the National League, I just don't want the Dodgers to win.
Yeah.
In the American League, I just don't want the Yankees to win. So if they're facing each other in the World Series, I think I would just be out.
Yeah, it would actually cause a reverse effect on you. It's like, I hate both teams. So let's do that scenario. And you had to pick one you would, I don't even know if rooting for is the right answer, but you would prefer to win.
I guess the Yankees.
Why?
Because
it would make me happy?
No. The Dodgers haven't won in such a long time that to keep them down there would still be fun.
Oh, you are not counting the bubble?
No, that doesn't count.
Why?
They didn't even play 162 games.
Oh, so now you want a full season of games to count for them to be champs?
Yes.
Did the Lakers title count?
They didn't even play in L.A.
I know. Where was that? Texas?
Is it Texas? Texas Rangers.
So weird. What did they play that year? 60? Something like that?
I think so, yeah.
I mean,
it was definitely less than half.
To your point, though, honestly, I mean, the setup was the way it was, but like, where would the Tigers have been after 60 games this year? And here they are in the Final Four in the American League based on their finish. Padres were down at 60 games. But, yeah, I think the majority of people would like, non-Yankee fans, yeah, they would like to see the Tiger. And not even Tigers, Guardians, or Royals fans. They're going, let's see someone different, even though I would say it's honestly been a while for the Yankees too. But I get it. That's bigger payrolls, bigger teams, bigger names. Yeah, let's get the underdog in there. And
I hate is I love Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah.
And I would have liked to see him do well in the postseason, but I don't want to see. If he goes like off like a batting average of 650 with like 12 home runs, but the Dodgers lose, that would be the perfect case scenario for me.
It actually would have been nice for both of them, honestly, if like Shohei and Trout had that dream season as Angels and they did something spectacular. Because that's still kind of the underappreciated team down in Southern California. Yeah, they had been to the World Series before, but if they did that with that group, but that group just nothing, and then now first year was Shohei in LA where they've just got the stacked roster. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see how he plays come postseason time when he gets started. All right, that is safe or out. First hour in the books. When we come back in our second hour, we will talk more about Devonte Adams and his future, his status. The Raiders already making it known that he likely won't play this week. Wink, wink, hamstring injury. At what point is this? Are they at the point of no return? We'll discuss the best options for him and where he should go, which team should be looking at him. We've got that in the next hour. 3 for Madness, Kelly Brothers, and Styles and Watkins from Media Day. Talk to Keegan Murray. We'll revisit that as well. All in the next hour, jam-packed hour straight ahead right here on Sacktown Sports.
The only place you'll find Keegan Murray is Sacktown Sports.
Out to Keegan Murray, straight away for 3, and Keegan knocks down the triple.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Keegan Murray, and you're listening to the home of Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
When shopping for a new car, what do you want? A great selection? A low monthly payment? More for your trade? At Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda, you get it all.
Model year-end savings are going on now. It's savings you just can't say no to.
Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Number 1 claims based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company. Sold on report.
Don't let summer energy slip away. Live the active life you love year-round with a personally fit arch support system from the Good Feet store. Precision engineered to support all 4 arches. Good Feet puts your feet in a more ideal, comfortable, and pain-free position. And Good Feet arch supports are now HSA and FSA eligible. Book a free fitting at goodfeet.com or come in and get a free pair of OS First Performance socks. Free. Normally a $25 value at the Good Feet store.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy, Kyle Draper. Equip your staff with top-notch uniforms, professionally cleaned and delivered weekly to your workplace by Alsco Uniforms, proud sponsors of the Sacramento Kings Mop Crew. Our services include uniforms, towels, floor mats, mops, first aid supplies, and restroom essentials to uphold cleanliness and safety standards in your business. Discover why it pays to keep clean with Alsco Uniforms. Visit alsco.com to learn more. Again, visit alsco.com.
I was in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean when it happened. There was a sudden jolt and our submarine crashed on the seafloor. We were in total darkness.
That's Dr. Dejana Figueroa, a marine biologist and STEM teacher, talking about a deep sea dive she'll never forget.
It's funny, when I was a kid, I was afraid of the ocean, and there I was 2 miles below the surface. But as a scientist, you prepare for that. Using our training and a little creativity, we fixed the sub and finished our experiments. The dive was just too important. Every dive gives us glimpses at things few people ever get to see. Glowing creatures, fiery undersea volcanoes. When we got back to the surface, I kissed the ground and called my mom, of course. But you know what? I wouldn't trade that dive for anything.
Dr. Figueroa uses her passion for STEM to discover new things and make the world a better place. She can STEM, so can you. Check out She Can STEM for more stories and inspiration. A message from the Ad Council.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports 1140. The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone. And then boom,
with Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports.
I've heard a lot of stuff it's your mom's. Was it mom's or grandma's?
Moms.
Tying last words. Kick the most ass. Oh my goodness. Welcome in to the second hour of the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. No Carmichael Dave today, as he told you he would be out today and tomorrow. He'll be back with us on Monday. Jason Ross, Christopher Laud here. A couple things to clean up before we get into our second hour of goodies for you here. From the text line, let's see this one here. Have to disagree. Dodgers Yankees is not great for baseball. It shows that you can buy championships. It turns more fans off from the game as the realization of that almighty dollar. That's why the NFL and the hard salary cap does it right. I don't know if they're the same comps. I know what you're saying. But I think this is my belief, and I guess I'll wear it. I could be wrong, but I got to believe, I don't know, Chris, do you know who the lowest payroll that's left is of the baseball teams? I mean, just a guess, maybe.
Tigers,
Brewers. Let's just pretend that's it. A Tigers Brewers World Series, I just don't think will do better than a Dodgers Yankees. That doesn't mean it won't be a better World Series. I was just talking about eyeballs, money, future of baseball. I don't think it would be better for baseball. Doesn't mean it. I mean, it could happen. It'd be great.
I could say I don't like the Yankees. I don't like the Dodgers, but it would be cool to see Shohei launch like a 450-foot bomb in Yankee Stadium.
Yeah. And if there are high leverage at bats with Shohei Ohtani in the box and Aaron Judge in the box versus, your Tiger or your Brewer. I mean, Jackson Chourio is a great young story. Hit 2 home runs yesterday, the youngest player in baseball. It's awesome. It doesn't have the same, I don't think, personally. Doesn't mean, again, won't be great. I just think if you're looking at what is the most you can get out of it, I think it would be Dodgers-Yankees. Now, right or wrong, that's just what I believe.
It's going to be bad because I'm going to be just rooting for Shohei Ohtani and Verdugo.
It's okay. You can grab your players that you like. I think that's
that's it.
And that's it. Not cities. I mean, what would you have done if we ever have a World Series that has St. Louis versus Seattle? You're hated St. Louis, not the Cardinals, but you just hate St. Louis, and you don't like Seattle.
Man, what's crazy is like those are the teams I don't hate the most.
Yeah, but you don't like the cities, so you have to watch nothing but city views of those areas.
I think I would have to want the Cardinals to win.
I thought you would say that. Even though Seattle's never had one.
Yeah, but St. Louis wouldn't be so smug about it.
Because Seattle would get there first and they would go crazy.
Seattle just like, oh yeah, well we've deserved it because we've been in the league for so long and have never won one. Shut up.
It's a really good Seattle impression. I thought you would say St. Louis, though. I really did. One other thing I did yesterday that I think
St. Louis and Seattle are the opposite for me. To like St. Louis, like I'm okay with the people.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like the
city
area I don't like, and just how it's set up that I don't like. And in Seattle,
I know that'd be.
I love the area.
Yeah.
I love the city of Seattle. If there was no people from Seattle in Seattle, it'd probably be one of my favorite places.
Like, can I take over the city and just bring my people that I want here with me? Then you'd be like in heaven.
Yes.
Yeah.
If we could move Sacramento, the people of Sacramento, to Seattle,
and up through
Portland to Seattle,
yeah,
then I would be happy.
Then you'd have something there. Chris, would you be up for this? I know, what was Dave talking about us doing as a show a while back? Like a fast. A fast. Something I did yesterday. So I did this the first year that we got our pool, about 4 or 5 years ago. And I said, I'm going to go in every month. I just want to make sure. I've never been a pool owner. I've always wanted a pool. We have a pool in the summer. It's easy. That's totally fine. So the first year I had it, I went in every month. I made sure. And yes, December, January, and February were brutal. And it was literally a jump in and jump out, almost like a polar plunge. And so I told myself, I hadn't done that since that first year, but I go, I'm going to do that again. So It was October. Generally that would be tough, but yesterday with 100 degrees, you
needed the pool.
It was fine. Jumped in. It was colder than it's been, but it was like, cause it's not heated. We jumped in, jump out. It was like, all right, I'm good. But would you do that? Would you do a polar plunge?
Oh yeah. I remember when my aunt got a house with like a built-in pool. And they got it in like January. And I want to say I was like 8 or 9 years old. And I'm just like, hey, can we go swimming? And they're like, no, we can't go swimming. It's like, it's right there. What are you talking about?
It's like, I see it. I want to go. I got to get in. So yeah, certain months. Now I've checked off October. That was easy with 100 degree yesterday. I think we're going to be that hot today. So that'll be easy. But
probably going to be that hot next month.
I doubt it in November, but you never know. I mean,
how long would it be until you're like, okay, even I'm done with this?
Not, I won't be, because I know it's coming, right? Like we're closer to the cooler temperatures or whatever that means. I mean,
but if it's like November 5th and you see on the horizon like surprised. 90 degrees,
I'd be like, wow, this is crazy. But I'd be like, I enjoy it because I know it's coming, and I prefer to be. And again, this is where I think each of us, because you and Dave would rather be cooler and cold and overcast. I think we go to the extremes, because like some of those days I'm like, man, it's rained or been foggy or cloudy for so many days. You guys like this, but it's also like 30, 35. That's the extreme end. And when it's 115, you're like, you like that? I was like, well, nobody likes 115. It's too hot. But I'd rather be warm than cold. Trying to find a home is what Devonte Adams is trying to do. So the Raiders say he's not going to play this weekend. He's still a Raider at the moment. And I guess I should check Twitter because many teams are interested allegedly in Devonte Adams. And I think they should be, but what's going on here? What are they doing? I don't want to say what are the Raiders waiting for, but I think they're at the point of no return. He's still a good player. He should be playing for you. And if you've gotten to the point where now you're saying, well, he's likely not going to play because of a hamstring injury, I'm sure there's more to it. One, you're probably trying to protect your player to not get him hurt because you want to trade him. Probably doing a disservice to the team. Hasn't been practicing. Once you get a player into that frame of mind that he's no longer wants to be a part of whatever you're doing, I think you have to trade him. And he's still a player that you can get value for. The longer it goes, probably the less value you're going to get. I think you've got enough teams that would be battling for him. And allegedly, if the Raiders can take some money back off of this contract or pay for some of it, that would probably help move him easier. But every week he misses, that value of his contract drops by almost $1 million. I think he's due 13 something left, and it's something like 900,000 a week that goes down. So he needs to be traded, and I think that's what would be best for all parties involved. And when you hear a lot of people are speculating that he's angling to get to the Jets and play with Aaron Rodgers, play for a team that it's a big city, big market, a team that has the longest playoff drought, that a player like Devonte Adams could clearly help that team. I mean, I think Devonte Adams, basically wherever he goes, will help that team. What do they have to give up? What do the Raiders want in return? And I don't know enough internally if Devonte Adams has created an issue, but when you lose a player, it's tough to replace that talent. And sometimes, though, it's addition by subtraction. I don't know if that's the case here with the silver and black and Adams, but I think it's, like I said, to the point of no return. What would be best for all parties involved is to move him, to get the most that you can for him. And I was saying yesterday with Dave, like, look, I mean, the team I think that really should go after him that would benefit largely from this would be a team like the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, if you're the Raiders, I mean, why on earth would you ever want to trade a guy in your own division against one of the best teams? Probably you wouldn't want to. But if you get a lot in return or whatever you're looking for, that would be a reason to. Could you trade him to another team that you think could hurt you in the long run? I don't think you want to do that, but you've got to just find a way to get the most that you can for Devonte Adams. And it's too bad. It's almost from the get-go. It honestly seemed like an odd pairing when Adams was acquired by the Raiders. You're going, okay, well, with Carr, we see a college connection from Fresno State. I see maybe that part, but the fact that Carr didn't last long, then it was like, all right, this is trouble. And I think a lot of people thought Adams might be gone last year, spent a full year without Carr, and now we're on to year 2. And it just seems like a lot of teams should inquire, whether that's teams that have underachieved so far, teams that think they can get better. Like I said, I think the Jets are fully in the forefront of doing this. I think the Cowboys should be looking at this. I still think the Niners should kick the tires. Maybe it's not even realistic at all. That's fine. You always should call. You always should pursue. You always should try to figure out, is there something for us here that could make us better? And so I think the sooner the Raiders do this, that whether it's distraction for the front office, the coaching staff, or the current roster, you've now removed yourself from that. It helps align you for the rest of the season. And I'm assuming what would be coming back, if I were the Raiders, I'd want some draft picks. I'd be looking at that draft capital, because I think we all know and look at the roster right now and say the quarterback of the future of the Raiders is not on the Raiders right now. It's probably a player that's either in college or on another team. And the more bites at the apple from draft picks or draft capital can either help you if there's a second-round quarterback, but if you're looking at a first-round QB next year, the more picks you have that can help you either move up or get in that spot. Because look at this last year where the Raiders picked. I firmly believe in the draft they wanted one of those quarterbacks. They all went right before the Raiders. They were all gone. Top 3 picks, a couple more went between McCarthy and Nix, and the Raiders got a good player in Bowers in the tight end, but I believe they wanted a quarterback. And so then they went for Minshew. They had Aiden O'Connell, and they're just kind of piecemealing it through this year, knowing that at some point they're going to have to acquire a QB. So if Adams can help you do that with picks or some other quarterback you may like that's on somebody's roster that you'd like to try, I guess that's a route you could go. But I think the Raiders need to do it and do it soon. All right. So there's some thoughts on Devonte Adams still to come, Kelly Brothers. But when we come back, 3 for Madness, 3 questions, 3 answers. That's coming your way next on Sacktown Sports.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture with daily use.
3 questions, 3 answers. It's 3 for Madness on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Here's question 1.
All right, before we get to question 1 from the text line, the front office has failed again, not trading Adams in the offseason for defense at least. Why have a great wide receiver and a bottom quarterback for the Raiders? Bad decision plagues them. That's from Esteban. Yeah, I mean, again, opportunities missed by this franchise. All right, Chris, it's time for 3 for Madness. What is question number 1?
The Houston Astros' 7-year streak of making it to the American League Championship ended yesterday. Are you willing to admit that they are a great team, or once a cheater, always a cheater?
Mm-hmm. This is an interesting one because obviously they were caught. They had some penalties due to that. And if you look at the irony of who eliminated them yesterday was the Detroit Tigers, managed by A.J. Hinch, who was the manager that kind of was the scapegoat when all this stuff went down with the Houston Astros. Probably the better part of a year. I don't know if people still boo the Astros like they did that first year after all the allegations and stuff that went around. Kind of followed them. But even with the sign stealing and all the things that they were attached to them, they're a very good team. I mean, you don't get there by accident. Even if you know what pitches are coming, you still have to hit them. And I don't know that they entirely knew everything all the way through. It's kind of like define the levels of cheating. So I'm not in the once a cheater, always a cheater. I'm not a fan of theirs, but I can respect what they've done. I think it's incredible. In this day and age to do anything that effectively, that consistently, even this year, 10 games back of the Mariners at one point, and then came back and won the division. Ultimately, though, they are out after getting eliminated, and maybe that's sweet justice for a guy like A.J. Hinch. I don't know. I mean, obviously, he's probably more worried about his team and what the Tigers are doing, but probably in the back of his mind, that probably felt really, really good to eliminate the Astros. But, yeah, I can admit that they've been a great team and really amazing what they've done. And there was that weird time, too, while they were being managed by Dusty Baker, who I like so much. I was like, yeah, I'm kind of rooting for him at least. But it was tough to root for the Astros during this time. All right, question number 2.
Question 2.
Travis Kelce makes his debut on the show Grotesquerie. Grotesquerie?
Yeah, I think so.
Your thoughts on Kelce as an actor?
Well, first and foremost, he's getting a lot of love, a lot of attention, not having the best season this year. And there's probably going to be people, we know this, Chris, like, oh, if he'd spend less time acting, if he would, spend less time with Taylor Swift, if he would just worry about, look, he's had an amazing Hall of Fame career. He's been awesome. These are projects that you can do in your off time and on the side. I thought he was good. What did you think of him when he was on SNL? As far as, to me, a lot of that is the writing you get, but still can be the delivery, because I still think one of the great actors we have is Robert De Niro, and he's been on SNL. And I'm like,
been awful.
He's rough on there. Barkley comes on there, and you're like, all right, I can tell you're reading. And look, people are reading sometimes, but you're like, man, it's hard to believe. I thought Kelce did fine on his episode.
Yeah, he was fine.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But I don't know that I'm going, hey, I need to see Travis Kelce in these shows, or will it make me watch? For this, though, this is the kind of thing that you would watch, not because of Kelce, because I think of what
I saw what it's about, and I'm pretty interested in it.
So what's the plot line here? It's a scary series, correct?
I think it's like an investigation of like a death cult type of thing, and they're trying to figure out.
And I think he's a nurse, I think, is his character. I think.
Oh, man, I just hope that they gave him a whole bunch of medical terms to say.
Why? To see if he butchers them? I'm trying to think. Yeah, I mean, well, we know you like horror or scary movies. I don't know if this is exactly in that realm, if it's more thriller detective type. I don't know.
I think it's going to be like some sort of supernatural element to it.
Okay. Again, rank your top 3 or so horror movies.
Hereditary.
Number 1.
The Shining.
Okay.
And then we get into it just depends on what type of mood I'm in.
Is
Follows I really like.
What's the one I just saw a commercial for that's coming out? It's a sequel. Smile 2?
Oh, Smile 2. That was fine.
The first one?
Yeah.
You saw the second one already?
No, I haven't seen the second one yet.
Is it out? Or is it coming out, right?
It's coming out.
The
last one I saw was Speak No Evil.
Okay.
With James McAvoy. That was fantastic.
Oh, did you see? I know we talked about it coming out, but I don't know. No, I think you did. What was the one? M. Night Shyamalan.
Oh, Trap.
Yes.
That
Josh Hartnett, maybe?
Yeah, I feel like the bad thing is, and I'm very good at not seeing trailers. I don't like to see trailers, but that's one I happened to see, and it really killed the movie.
Really?
Yeah, because there's like, when you think that they're going to catch him, it's like, well, I know they're not going to catch him because in the trailer, he's in this part of the arena. And, I know he's going to be fine here because we still haven't seen him when he gets in the car.
I gotcha.
So I think I would have liked it a lot more if I knew absolutely nothing about it.
When's the next one from? I think I just saw a commercial for Peel. I know,
like
a TV, like a spoof comedy, scary thing.
Scare Tactics.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm a fan of that.
Yeah,
that's like a little too
right?
much. They're rebooting it.
Okay, his movies are pretty good.
Yeah,
he's pretty talented at that kind of stuff.
And the stuff that he's like, it's just like, how is this in your brain?
I know. That's a little disturbing but I don't know if that comedy horror is closer tied or not. But he's kind of blended the two together. Yeah, for me, I'm not that interested in. But Travis Kelce as an actor, that's fine. Doesn't bother me at all.
I'm actually really want to see Nicey Nash in that.
Oh yeah, she's good. I like her.
And she was really good in that Dahmer series on Netflix.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
She's pretty good. All right, question number 3.
Question 3.
NBA preseason begins tomorrow? The Kings preseason begins in 6 days. You excited?
I am, and it's weird because generally, like spring training, NFL preseason, it's just the only thing it means is that football's coming. But NBA for me, for whatever reason, is a little bit different. I don't know that I'll be into. I think it's the Celtics and Nuggets from. Are they in Dubai? I can't remember where they're going, but that's why they had media days earlier. They're going to be playing. Kings will play in 6 days from now. But what I want to see DeMar DeRozan as a King. I want to see what some of this looks like. The only bummer about preseason for me, we'll do preseason games on the radio. We'll have pre and post and all the regular things that we do. But I really don't care if they win. I know they keep scoring. If you're playing, you'd rather win, I guess, if there's a preference. But you just want to see how it looks. What are we kind of think we're going to see going into the season? Then what do we think is validated by watching it in the preseason? And then generally, and this will be one of the bummers for this year, is you like to see your rookie. That's what I like about Summer League and the California Classic. But with Devin Carter being hurt, that's really one of the bummers of this offseason and going into this season. I don't know exactly where he would fit in with this team, but I think the way they wanted him, the way they drafted him, the way they think that he could do to help this team, I think he would have gotten some pretty good minutes somewhere. And I think would have proven to be a pretty tough player. But we have to wait. And so that's the bummer. And so when Herter's clear, I want to see him, what he looks like. Certainly want to see what DeRozan looks like with the squad. Just everybody another offseason and what little wrinkles they've been working on. But yeah, I like the preseason. It's Kings basketball. Obviously a huge fan of what they do. Want to see them have a great year. And it's our first kind of sample size of what we can expect. And the 82-game season is such a grind, but you want to kind of stay on top of it. And what's crazy about it is, and I know Coach Brown and other coaches have adopted this, but if you really do take it in 5-game chunks, and if this doesn't really blow you away, but if they go 3-2 and then 3-2 and then 3-2 and then 3-2, just do 3-2, get 3 wins out of every 5. At the end, you're at 48 plus wins. I mean, that should. And I don't know what the number is, and that was something that was actually discussed the other day around media day and different things. Like, what is the number hit in the West to guarantee a top 6? I mean, if you look at the Kings specifically, the last 2 years, 2 years ago, they get 48 and they're third. Last year, they get 46 and they're in that tied for 9th. So what would get you to the 6th this year? I think it's a tough question. But you keep going 3-2 in your 5-game chunks, you're at minimum 48 wins. And maybe, there's 2 extra games there. Maybe you get to 49 or 50, and I think you secured yourself a top 6 spot. So, yes, I am excited. It begins tomorrow for some teams, And then obviously next Wednesday for the Kings in their first preseason game. All right, break time for us. As we go to break, though, here is your chance right now as a faithful listener here to the program, where you get to experience the #1 live podcast, Kill Tony, this October, as Tony Hinchcliffe brings his impressively edgy and hilarious humor to the venue. All you have to do is hit up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline right now. We're looking for caller number 3. Number 3 to score that pair of tickets to check out Tony Hinchcliffe only at Thunder Valley Casino Resort. That's coming up October 11th. For more information, all you have to do is visit SactownSports.com. But caller number 3 right now, 1-800-920-1140 or 916-339-1140. All right, break time for us. When we come back, sports business.
Good at business.
With Kelly Brothers. He joins us next.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
Going deep down the sideline for our you. He's got it, and he's gone. 10, 5, touchdown! San Francisco! Ayuk is on fire!
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year. And thank you for so many wonderful memories.
Lowe's knows that to win the job, pros need the best prices. That's why only at Lowe's, MVP's Pro Rewards members can get a volume discount on eligible orders as low as $1,500 at the Pro Desk. That means you get the prices you need to start any job, small or large, because Lowe's knows pros. Valid in-store only. More terms and restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms or Pro Desk for details.
Progressive presents 10 things on a contractor's to-do list that are harder than getting a commercial auto insurance quote. Bidding a new client, giving an accurate estimate, finding affordable materials, getting a client to pay you for work you already did, getting a client to pay you, period, securing permits and workers and tools, getting those workers and tools to work together, and finding the perfect pair of overalls. Pockets, baby. But the easiest thing on a small business owner's to-do list? Seeing if you can save on commercial auto insurance. Get a quote in as little as 7 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage subject to policy terms and conditions.
Get ready to hit the gas on the best power tool deals of the year at Fastener's Tool Outlet. We're revving up the savings with our full throttle one-day DeWalt sale in Sacramento on October 12th only. We are slashing prices on a huge selection of DeWalt power tools like cordless drills, saws, combo kits, and more at costs you won't believe. Get better tools for better prices only at Fasteners Inc., Sacramento's top destination for DeWalt tools. Again, that's October 12th only on Power and Road. For more info, go to fastenersinc.net.
Do you have old baseball cards and sports memorabilia from the 50s and 60s collecting dust in your closet? They could be very valuable in any condition. Find out at the Sports Cards Roadshow. We'll be in the Sacramento area to evaluate your old and modern sports cards. Visit sportscardsroadshow.com today to schedule your appointment. Ask about your free on-site sports card evaluation. For large vintage and modern collections, we can come to you. Skip the garage sale. Sports Cards Roadshow is buying. Call 1-800-560-3272 today or visit sportscardsroadshow.com.
Joining us now on Sports Sense, certified financial planner Kelly Brothers. Kelly is an advisor with Cap Trust, one of the nation's largest registered investment advisors. Cap Trust counts among its clients pro athletes and pro sports franchises, but most importantly serves many Northern Californians through comprehensive financial planning. Here's Kelly Brothers.
That's right. It is that time each and every Thursday around 7:30. We check in on the business world, the sports business world, with our good friend Kelly Brothers joining me this morning. Kelly, no Dave today. Jason here with you. How are you?
I'm doing great, my friend. Great to see you, Jason. Thanks so much for having me on.
Well, thank you. We always look forward to this segment, like to get a little more insight on what's going on, combining our two worlds, financing, business, money, and sports. And a lot locally here, Kelly, a lot of news that's been coming out of Sacramento State. We know the Sac-12 has aligned themselves trying to get this school into the Pac-12. And it seems like this thing is moving. What's the latest you're hearing between these two entities?
Well, just, incredible momentum and has added up very quickly over the last week or so. And great to see that Greater Sacramento Barry Broom and his group is involved in all this because they see it as a real economic driver. I mean, there are parts of our economy and our world that are going relatively slow or even losing a little momentum. But I'll tell you, you look at UC Davis and what they're doing at Aggie Square in Sacramento. You look at Sac State and the energy around that program and around that school, and it really is positive. I mean, $35 million supposedly committed in NIL money, a stadium, 25,000 people for football. You've got Golden One hosting not only the NCAA as with Sac State as a host, but offering the facility for men's and women's basketball. That's not the long-term answer. I mean, everyone knows it doesn't feel good when you have 1,000 people in a 17,000 seat stadium.
Right.
And that's it. The only thing missing to me really that hasn't come up yet, and maybe you've heard something, Jason, that I haven't, is what about the basketball situation at Sac State? Everyone knows their gym is completely inadequate. It's interesting that they went after the football stadium first. Of course, the money's in football. I get that. They have not addressed that yet, and that would have to be addressed, because you could see, again, playing Gonzaga at a Golden One, but in terms of regular games, I'm not sure Golden One is the answer.
Yeah, I know they've got some ideas as far as on campus. They built that other site called The Well, where I think they're going to try to modify that. But I still think there, to your point, Kelly, needs to be a longer term answer for that. But maybe that's where, if you get an influx of money, if you get into a Pac-12 or a Mountain West, well, that's where new TV deals and those kind of things, I mean, those could also end up being game changers for the program.
They could, and to be honest with you, that's what makes Sac State attractive. We're in the 20th largest media market, and that is a big ad. That is why, the Big Ten was so interested in USC and UCLA. They got LA in the deal. That is why there's more pressure on the Giants now, because but the Giants, by the way, they're in the largest market in Major League Baseball that only has one team, that doesn't have two. New York, Chicago, LA all have two. San Francisco, is now the largest market with only one. So the TV ranking and the TV eyeballs you bring to the party are very important, and that would be a very heavy piece of evidence in Sac State's favor as they look for a new home in terms of a league.
Yeah, and the one, this wouldn't be a question for you per se, but I'd wonder your speculation on it. This would be for someone involved maybe in the Sac-12. What they're doing is truly impressive so far, but what I've wanted, and it all feels like, when you're called the Sac-12, you want them in the Pac-12. So if they were to get to the Mountain West and some of these NIL pledges, or if it doesn't work out and they stay in the Big Sky, I mean, I sure hope that they still care about the school and want things to happen for this university, or does that stuff all go away? I know, again, that's not a question you would maybe necessarily know the answer, but that's something that I kind of have been curious about.
I thought about that too, Jason. When you call yourself the Sac-12, you're not leaving yourself a whole lot of room to back down a step. You're right. You're kind of you've set your mark, and that's what you're going for. And good for them. But yeah, you're right. I don't know how palatable or how lucrative, or to be honest with you, Jason, I don't know that these commitments to NIL money or commitments to a stadium remain in place if they don't get Pac-12. We don't know that.
And you, as someone that's been in Sacramento now a long time, but also connections to, you've been to games at Notre Dame and some of these other venues and seen what it's really like, some of these amazing college football atmospheres. If Sacramento State were to get to that Pac-12 level or Mountain West, and we're hosting some of these games within a brand new stadium, what do you think that looks like in Sacramento in 5-10 years from now?
Oh, I hope it brings the energy that you can see in college football. I saw something this week that kind of the numbers of northeastern students going to SEC schools, it has exploded. And why? And the main reason cited is because the sense of community built around football weekends. They want that weekend. They want that Saturday. They want that energy. And Alabama, 20 years ago, less than 1% of their students were from the Northeast. Now it's 11 or 12%. And this is the main reason. So football has that power to bring people together. I was at Notre Dame last weekend, and you can just, the energy's fantastic, but it's and I've always said the smaller the town, the bigger the event, right? I mean, that's why college football has done so well in places like South Bend and Ann Arbor and Tuscaloosa. These are small towns where this is the only game in town. So whether or not that carries over here or not, I guess it depends on how well the team plays, how engaged the alumni gets, if they decide to really, go stingers up and show their pride a little bit. But it's a whole new world. I got to listen to the athletic director at ND last week, and he was very blunt about it's the Wild West. The rules are changing by the month. We're waiting for a big court decision, and they're penciling a line item of over $20 million for direct payments to players, and that's the way it's going to be at every school. There's going to be a cap, and you're just going to make these payments, and so it's a new world involving a lot of money, so I hope we get there, but I don't. Yeah. I think there's an interim step. I really do. I think there's, maybe some people don't like to baby step these things, but Sac State certainly could.
Yeah, it's funny that you said that about the kids from the Northeast that are flocking to SEC schools. If I'm Alabama or anybody, Georgia, really for that matter, that I want people from the North to come our way. I just showed that game last week. That was an incredible game, that sense of community that you're talking about.
Oh.
Yeah, who wouldn't want to be a part of that?
Oh, no, I have a nephew who lives in Chicago. He is going to the Big House to see Michigan play Oregon here, and he's just can't wait. That major college football feeling, it's unique. It is different. It is it's a weekend. It's usually on campus. So I hope Sacramento and Davis, I hope both get to that place. But like I said, I don't know if Sac State's ready for that leap yet, or if we should even expect that level of a leap. I mean, if you just had 5-6 home games with 20,000 people per game, that'd be a win.
Yeah,
that'd be a huge win.
For sure. So we're talking with Kelly Brothers, talking sports business. So Kelly, there's not many people I think I'd want to be in a legal fight with, but Michael Jordan would be probably at the top of the list. I wouldn't want to mess with. What's going on with him in NASCAR?
He owns a NASCAR team, and yesterday he sued NASCAR. He was one of 2 teams who did it. The suit is claiming, remember, NASCAR is owned by a family, the France family, and this lawsuit claims that they are bullies, monopolistic bullies, who eliminated competition by buying up racetracks and making all their team signs exclusivity agreements. And so there's a lot of these leagues or circuits like NASCAR have seemed to be bulletproof, Jason, and I think that's starting to crack. We've seen high-profile cases against the NBA, against the PGA. The NFL has some significant issues right now. But Michael Jordan, he doesn't waste time with. He hires the best, and he got an antitrust attorney named Jeffrey Kessler, who got equal pay for the women's soccer team. He set the groundwork for free agency in the NFL. So he is going after the France family, and I would not want to be in his gun sights either. Because if he has got a bee in his bonnet, I'm telling you what, he's going to make some noise, and he's going to cost them some money, and he might even be successful in breaking up what is known as NASCAR today. We'll see. Yeah,
and there was a time where a lot of sports figures from different entities, Joe Gibbs, different things, a lot of people got involved in NASCAR. Is that still kind of a common thing?
I mean, there are.
Sorry, I lost you there for a second. Is that still a common thing, you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's there, but the money is so big now. You need big money backing you. It's like, it's like we found out with the MLS. They're not interested in guys worth $200 or $300 million. They're interested in billionaires. Period. Yeah. End of story. So NASCAR is big money. Again, it's like college football. A lot of these places are in small southern towns, and they do very well. And obviously they have a strong TV audience as well, especially in this country. So, but it is a monopoly. There's no way around it. It's a monopoly. So we'll see if Michael Jordan is successful. And I would love to, here we got PGA and Live. I mean, we heard about a settlement, over a year ago now, and that still has not come to fruition. So, these court cases, man, they tie up for a long time and spend a lot of money, but NASCAR goes on, but Michael's not happy with the way it's working right now.
All right, one last thing for you, Kelly. We always appreciate your time. We were kind of speculating on this earlier, and baseball's not there yet, but I personally believe if they got Dodgers, Yankees, just the size of the markets, what that would mean, Shohei, Aaron Judge, superstars, all that, it would probably be best for them, but that doesn't mean that's the way it's going to play out. Just kind of what, if you end up with Brewers, Tigers, it's still a World Series and it's still, another historical kind of thing. But what's your thought on if it's Dodgers, Yankees, or if it's not for baseball?
Oh God, they would love Dodgers, Yankees. They would eat that up, and I think the casual fan would eat that up as well. The casual fan who watched Reggie Jackson, and I think that would be that's baseball's dream right there.
Yeah.
Right? And that's certainly, their broadcast partners, that's their dream as well. And I always hated the fact that, you start the playoffs in baseball and suddenly your announcers are taken off and now you're on some network that you were never on before with announcers who you've never heard before. And it just always seemed counterproductive to me. But in terms of the universality of baseball, Aaron Judge versus Shohei would be unbelievable. And then would be awesome is if they decided, all right, Shohei, 9th inning, game 7, we're going to bring you into pitch.
Oh, man.
That's what they should do.
Yeah, that would be the dream scenario. That's for sure.
That's right.
Well, Kelly, thank you so much. Always great getting insight from you. We look forward to it each and every week. Have a good weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Jason. Take care, buddy. All the best.
All right, thank you. That's Kelly Brothers, sports business. Always love getting his insight. When we break, we'll break. When we come back, it's one more interview from Media Day. It's been a big week for the Kings. They got a couple of practices under their belt. Keegan Murray should have a big year coming up. He's going to be important to this team. And our guys from the Midday Show, Styles and Watkins, talk to Keegan on Media Day. We'll hear some of that conversation when we come back on Sacktown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sacktown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
It's all on his shoulders. Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
Advanced Infusion Center, where we prioritize your comfort and well-being. Whether you're managing a chronic condition or seeking specialized IV therapy, our state-of-the-art center offers tailored solutions to meet your needs. Advanced Infusion Center's dedicated healthcare professionals are here to ensure your safety and provide personalized care. Conveniently located in Sacramento and Yuba City with flexible scheduling options. Experience a new standard in infusion therapy. Visit Advanced Infusion Center today at advancedinfusion.com.
Don't let summer energy slip away. Live the active life you love year-round with a personally fit arch support system from the Good Feet store. Precision engineered to support all 4 arches. Good Feet puts your feet in a more ideal, comfortable, and pain-free position. And Good Feet arch supports are now HSA and FSA eligible. Book a free fitting at goodfeet.com or come in and get a free pair of OS First Performance socks. Free. Normally a $25 value at the Good Feet store.
Waking you up with the best in local sports.
They just make it interesting, you know?
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
on Sacktown Sports.
How's it going, Keegan?
Right now, what's up, Keegan? Alan, good to meet you.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Keegan Murray joins us here on Sacktown Sports 1140. Keegan, thank you so much for joining us, man.
Yeah, of course, man.
So let's start here. Chris and I, because Chris was here last year and I was not. And Chris is saying it's not as loud this year. It's a little bit quieter than it was. And Chris said that last year, that is where the famous, because Keegan, I'm telling you, every time you do something, the shoom, the beam sound thing. So that happened last year. What's going on? Are we going to have something memorable come out of this year's media day? It's too quiet in here.
I see a purple
Keegan.
wig over there, man.
Yeah,
I don't know
what's going on, man?
I didn't even been over that station, but hopefully that doesn't turn into some crazy meme or something again. So.
How has that been? I mean, Kings fans definitely have had some fun at your expense, just kind of, poking fun. And I think it's been great. But from your side of things, how do you kind of see it?
Well, yeah, I mean, I have people around me that show me stuff all the time. Like, I'm not on like Twitter or nothing like that. So I get shown a lot of stuff. I mean, if they're having fun with it and they can have fun with it, I mean, I'm a laid back. I don't really care about much. So
Sure.
yeah, whatever the fan base loves, that's cool with me.
So we just finished talking to Malik Monk, and he was saying how he shaved off 10 strokes, 15 strokes off his game.
10 or 15. Oh, he said 15.
15. Is that? Did you
First
help?
off, can you confirm that?
Yeah, because that's a lot.
That's a lot of strokes in a year. I know y'all are professional athletes, but
Well, he's talking. I mean, I played with him last summer, and he was over 100 like most of the time. So 10 strokes off of 100 is pretty.
Sure.
It is what it is. But I mean, he's gotten a lot better for sure.
How often do you play? Because I try to play with Chris, my co-host.
Yeah.
Sometimes he'll respond to my text. Sometimes he won't. Keegan, how often do you play with Malik?
Malik, I play with him probably 8-10 times this summer.
Okay.
So I was out with him a little bit. But yeah, he's definitely got a lot better. Like, he was almost unplayable with
the marshals on your tail
early last summer. But now he's actually he's pretty good. So.
Yeah, I'm curious too, just before we get into some King stuff, but being a part of Iowa basketball, obviously Caitlin kind of went to another level, if that's possible, this year, and she just kind of wrapped up her season. What is your guys' relationship like? I know you guys obviously kind of crossed paths at Iowa, but what has it been like to kind of see her star grow, and how much are you in contact today?
Yeah, we've been good friends. I mean, we both came into Iowa as freshmen, so we kind of had that relationship going forward, and now she's dating one of my best friends.
That's right.
Connor McCaffrey. So I'm always in touch with Connor, and she's obviously doing her thing, and has been really good this year. And it's just been cool to see her grow as a freshman at Iowa to what she is now.
Yeah.
It's kind of, you see like the early stardom, but you never think it's going to get this big.
Right. I mean, I can't imagine you would ever think it would get as big as it's gotten now.
Yeah. So it's really cool.
Talking to Keegan Murray of your Sacramento Kings. Keegan, from the outside looking in, it seemed like you were asked to do a lot last season, right? From defending to expanding your game offensively. What did you feel like you accomplished last season as far as the things you were asked to grow in? What do you feel like, hey, I really do feel like going into this season, last season, I grew in this way? Was it the defending? Was it the offensive repertoire? What do you think that was?
Yeah, the biggest thing going into last year was just being able to guard the best guy on the other team. Being able, because my rookie year, I was really frustrated defensively because I just couldn't figure it out. But then last year, something clicked, and I feel like just having that learning curve helped me a lot because this team really hasn't had that kind of guy. So that's been my biggest thing. And then just obviously offensively, just finding my spots and just growing.
Would you say you have a favorite spot on the floor to shoot from?
Not really. I just shoot. And whatever happens, happens.
It's all good. Yeah. And then also, I mean, you guys, we were talking with Mike earlier about you and DeMar maybe being interchangeable at the 4. Have you been talked to much this year? I know in college, a big part of your game was kind of playing in the post. Have they had any conversations with you about maybe bringing some of that back? Or is it just kind of a, when you're out there, if it feels right, you're going to go for it?
Yeah, a little bit. It's something this summer that I've kind of went back to work on because at Iowa, that's pretty much all I played out of was in the post. So I'm just trying to find that rhythm again this summer and being able to use it when I can this year. I think will just only help me grow and not only just rely on 3-point shots.
Right. Talking to Keegan Murray. Keegan, last season we heard a lot about, when we talked about your defensive improvement, heard a lot about you working with De'Aaron Fox. We know De'Aaron Fox, he had a beautiful baby girl this season. Yeah. Were you able to work out with De'Aaron like you did last offseason? Is there anybody on the team that you worked with? Who did you work with this offseason?
Yeah, I mean, I've traveled a lot more this year. At one point I was up in Chicago with Herb Jones, and then I was with Fox. I went out to Houston because he was out there most of the summer. So I went out to Houston for a little bit, went with him. Then I've been working out with Malik probably the past month. So I've gotten out of Sacramento a lot more than I had before. So
you had the USA Select and things like that.
The USA thing. Yeah. I was in Iowa for a little bit. Chicago. Yeah. So I was out.
So you're going back and forth, right? When you have these one-on-ones. Now, obviously, you're in the NBA. Everybody's got a large repertoire. But when you're facing De'Aaron Fox or even Malik Monk at this point, you kind of know. Do you know what they like to do? Like when you're watching them play and they get to one spot and you think to yourself, oh, I know what he's about to do here. I could stop him, but the defender has no clue what he's going to do.
Yeah. I mean, they're both. I mean, there's a reason why they're both great offensive players because you can't really guess.
Yeah.
If you haven't played them as much as I have, but with those guys, yeah, I definitely know like what their tricks are and stuff like that. Fox knows a lot of my tricks, so yeah.
How much this season too are you just excited to play with DeMar? I don't know how much you've heard, but he's definitely somebody who seems to take a lot of young players under your wing. I guess you're kind of starting to be a vet here. You're in year 3. I don't know if you can really still. I know for this team you're probably a younger guy, but what have you kind of heard from guys around the league about what DeMar can bring?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I heard he's a good guy, just off the court, and obviously on the court he's gonna help us a lot late in games and just kind of getting the rhythm of the game back. So I feel like overall he's going to be a huge help for us. So I'm just excited to kind of pick his brain, just figure it out.
Sure.
Keegan Murray, great stuff. Before we get you out of here, there was a situation that happened before we came back with you and Mike Brown. People can check social media to see what happened there when you were taking your picture. So people will find that. But I wanted to ask Keegan, with that being said, it was a very funny moment. From the coaches that you've had from high school to Iowa to now, would you call your relationship with Coach Mike Brown one of the most unique relationships you've had with a coach? From the outside, it looks pretty unique to us.
Yeah, I'd probably say just because off the court, I feel like he's kind of took me under his wing, and it's all like non-basketball off the court, stuff like that. And then once we're on the court, he's probably my toughest critic. So it's been cool just to kind of have that relationship the last 2 years, going into the third year. So, and he's been great for the community of Sacramento for sure.
Keegan Murray, thank you so much, man. Thanks for taking the time.
Yeah.
We will look forward to watching you this season. It's going to be a good season. Good luck to you, man. And we'll talk to you soon.
I appreciate y'all.
That was Keegan Murray.
All right. Conversation from Media Day with Styles and Watkins with the third-year pro now. Third year for Keegan Murray. And I liked a lot of the things that Keegan said. Really, when the guys were asking him about like kind of outlook for this year and what he's going to try to do, again, he was talking about more of his defense. And I think think about what Keegan probably needs to provide for this team. And this is my best read on him, is that guy that will likely guard the best offensive player, most likely, depending on the position, but most likely on the other team. And I think the way we've heard from guys in camp, and Monty and different people when we were out of Media Day, is I believe DeMar DeRozan is going to guard more of the fours, more. He could be in that 3 spot too. We saw him guard Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Steph Curry, James Harden. Like he's all over the place on the type of player he will guard. So his value as a starter, it will be his consistency. I mean, if you look at Keegan's numbers, year 1 and year 2, played the majority of the games in his rookie season. He played 80 games. Last year, he played 77. So he's been dependable. His numbers from year 1, 12 points to 15 points. Rebounds went from 3.5 to 4.1. 4.6 to 5.5. Assists went up a half point. Steals went up a tad. Blocks went up a tad. His free throw percentage went up. His field goal percentage went up. The one thing that went down was. So, if for me, here's what I personally, and I'm sure the coaches would like in expectations wise. If he lives near that 15 points per game mark, I'm more than fine. I have no idea that's way of averages. So some nights that means he's going to have above 20. So he 9, 10, 11 points. That's the way averages work. But if he can consistently contribute on that defensive end, I personally would like to see Keegan have more of an impact as a guy going to the basket. His free throw attempts, to me, needs to go up. And it did last year, but 1.6 per game. There needs to be more attempts for Keegan Murray. That means it's a guy that's being aggressive offensively, aggressive to the basket. We know he can shoot, and so I would think if he can be an efficient shooter. More of the attempts should be coming from DeRozan, Fox, the ball through Sabonis and Monk. Those guys, if Herter's back and healthy, open looks at three, and Keon Ellis has been an efficient shooter. Doesn't mean Keegan shouldn't shoot, but last year he got up to about almost 13 attempts per game. That's fine. That number could be in that 10 to 13 range. And as he showed us, what was that game? He exploded last year for 47. I mean, that was, of all the Kings on the roster, I think still the career high for anybody, which is amazing. So he's got that ability when he got crazy hot like that. But I think it's going to be about defense for him. And he's a low volume, kind of a low touch, doesn't need to have the ball a ton, which I think that's good for this team and this offense, because you're going to have some guys with the basketball, with Sabonis, with Fox, with Monk, and certainly with DeRozan. So the more efficient guys like Lyles, Herter, Murray, Ellis can be, the better off they're going to be. And then collectively, defensively, they've got to get better. But Keegan is going to be the one, I think, that's going to be asked a lot of nights to do his best on an opposing great score. And he said it in that conversation with Styles and Watkins. Look, my rookie year, I was didn't figure it out defensively, but something clicked last year. And it did. And he was great. And it showed on that end of the floor. And the more he could do that, the better off this team is going to be. So wish nothing but the best for Keegan. Looking forward to him. Hopefully you enjoyed that conversation. And we got more on the Kings coming up in our last 2 hours of the show. When we come back, though, we touched on this a little bit with Kelly Brothers. Dave and I have been talking about it for the better part of a week here. It was 1 week ago today that Sacramento State had a big announcement where they announced a brand new stadium is coming to the university. But since then, there's been more announcements, talk of NIL money secured. How realistic is this Pac-12, Mountain West? Do they stay in the Big Sky? We'll kind of discuss the future of Sacramento State and their sports program and what you think it should be. Love to hear from you as well at 916-339-1140 or 1-800-920-1140. We're back with that and more straight ahead on Sacktown Sports.
De'Aaron Fox plays here.
Stolen by Fox. Breakaway coming up for De'Aaron. And a simple, casual spike with the left hand. Kings lead by 3.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
True fans of the game should pick up a copy of The Match, The Day the Game of Golf Changed Forever, written by Mark Frost, who also wrote The Greatest Game Ever Played. The book was published more than 10 years ago, but it tells the true story of a remarkable round of golf played by legendary professionals Ben Hogan and Byron Nelson against two of the sport's greatest amateurs, Ken Venturi and Harvey Ward. Hogan, who avoided playing with amateurs at all costs, was hoodwinked into playing by Eddie Lowry, Francis Ouimet's diminutive caddy, who at that point was a successful San Francisco businessman. The match, with its many wagers, was set to be played at Cypress Point Club, and although the exciting 18 holes unfold with each turn of a page, it's the backstory of each of the players that makes the words come alive. My friend Ken Venturi, the last survivor of that foursome, told me it was a dream match, and so good even fiction couldn't touch it. It's a fabulous read. For Golf to Go, I'm Frank LaRosa.
Model year-end pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the model year-end event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports, 1140. The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports.
All right, 8 o'clock hour beginning. Jason Ross, Christopher Law, Carmichael Dave off until Monday. Still to come on the show. We still have 4 down territory in this hour. Who's hot? Who's not? Niners at 9. We got more training camp sound from the Kings, who are a couple days into camp. That's all coming your way. And, of course, we have our crosstalk with Styles and Watkins and wrap things up with celebrity birthdays. Wanted to start this hour with the news that continues to develop regarding Sacramento State, the Sac-12, their quest to get the Hornets into the Pac-12. And, you know, little breadcrumbs are happening almost all the time. Yesterday's news, if you missed it, and Kelly Brothers brought this up, but it was reported that Sacramento State and the Kings or / Golden One Center have kind of agreed that they would be able to play some of their basketball games at Golden One Center. Is certainly pending a move to the moving up, which does bring up the question that I brought up to Kelly, which is probably unfair to Kelly, but it's just a speculative question. It probably needs to go to the president, Luke Wood, or whoever else we get on as guests here in the coming weeks on this quest. But a lot of it, to me, Chris, has been Sac-12, trying to get the group into the Pac-12. There's been mentioning of the Mountain West. I've said all along, these are all great goals. I think they should go for it. I would love it. You still have to be invited by those conferences. And we've seen some other teams being talking to the Pac-12. We see Gonzaga going in as a basketball entity. There's still spots for more football and basketball programs. But does it have to be that? Like, if it's not, do these pledges that come in go away? I mean, you would hope that, hey, look, if you want what's best for the community and best for Sacramento, that if they didn't get to the Pac-12, or if they didn't get into the Mountain West, are these pledges gone? And that's what I don't know. But regardless, you've got, Chris, there's a lot of people now that have put their names out there publicly that are behind these things, political leaders, local leaders, the school itself, that are very out front with trying to get this program involved at a higher level. That makes me believe that, like, hey, look, there's a lot to lose if it doesn't happen. So a lot of people think this can happen.
The one thing I'm worried about would be Sac State is able to join the Pac-12, and then let's say 8-9 years from now, you know what, we're doing away with conferences and college sports. We're not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
Which is like, I don't know. I don't think anyone's brought that up as a possibility, because we've always taken these conferences as is. Like,
yeah.
There's always been conferences in college sports. I have a feeling like we can see a complete overhaul of sports and see more of a promotion relegation type of situation in college sports.
I think that would be amazing. And I think that's a route that could happen. I kind of took it a different way, as like, if they did move up, whether it was Pac-12 or Mountain West, and then things kind of did another shuffle, you're at least already up.
Yes.
So I think that's where the benefit is. There's different TV deals that they would be a part of or trying to be a part of. I've always thought, this is my own personal opinion, sometimes I feel like I'm too close to this, working with Sac State, knowing a lot of people over there. But me personally, and it's not set up this way, but I always thought, wouldn't there be a pretty nice conference if you had San Diego State, San Jose State, UC Davis, Sac State, Cal Poly, maybe Cal and Stanford, like almost, kind of what it's been before, a regional one, but you get some of these teams that have moved on to other conferences, kind of morph them into one California, or even, added UNLV and Reno, or kept Washington State and Oregon State. But look, the Pac-12, they are currently talking to teams. I'm sure the Mountain West is currently talking to teams. So for you guys out there that are people of this community, whether you went to Sacramento State, whether you went to high school here, what do you think of what Sacramento State is attempting to do, what the Sac-12 is attempting to do? Again, the stadium announcement happened last week. By all accounts, that's irrelevant of a promotion to the Mountain West or the Pac-12. The NIL developments, I don't know the answer to that one, what the Sac-12 has raised. We heard the number 35 when we talked to Dr. Luke Wood earlier this week. He said they were already up to 40, and maybe that number's gone up. The announcement of Golden One being a place where they can play hoops at, that's great, but I still think a long-term answer needs to happen on campus. That's my personal belief. And then you probably saw some of the renderings that were, at least versions of renderings that were put out yesterday or leaked out. Those are all exciting when people can tangibly see some things. I know me as a visual person too. It's like, oh, we're building a house. Okay, cool. Oh, wow. And then when I can even look at some of the drawings, great. But then the minute framework is up and you go, oh man, that's going to be amazing. So things are moving. How quickly? Or is it too fast? Is it possible? I'd love your perspective at 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140 text line, YouTubers as well. Let's check in with Troy, who's dialing us up this morning. Good morning, Troy. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Jason. My perspective is Sac State has to move into the FBS. I'm an FCS guy. I graduated from Montana State.
Okay.
It's an awesome league. The Big Sky Conference is an awesome conference. It's very competitive. The playoff system is awesome.
Yep.
But it works great for small market teams. I mean, Bozeman's got 100,000 people. Missoula's got 70,000 people. The entire state of Montana is 1 million. Sacramento is pushing 2 million people in the greater region here. And in your larger markets, I feel like to be relevant in the community, you have to be in the FBS. And most people in this community follow FBS football, and they don't follow FCS football. And Sacramento, I think, warrants the opportunity to move into that, upper division, whether it be the Mountain West or the Pac-12. I'd prefer the Pac-12, but I just think they would fit well for it. I think the college is situated well for it. Definitely need the facilities.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you talked about the Kings Arena. I would say the Sac State current basketball arena is probably even worse than the football arena.
Oh, yeah.
So definitely there's got to be some movement there as well. I do think the Kings Arena is a great bridge to get them into something. I think it will happen. But just comparing the FCS to the FBS, I do think that, and I'd like to get your opinion on this, I do think that the market size and the size of Sacramento would be much more popular in the FBS than the FCS.
Yeah, and thank you, Troy. That's a really good comments and good call. I mean, as someone that's connected and had connections there to Montana State, knows what goes on there in Bozeman, certainly Missoula, and as someone that has traveled to those spots, I love going there. I love when Sac State plays games in Missoula, in Montana, in Bozeman, in Montana, and just the atmosphere. That is as close to what people see on TV that they see at Alabama. Now it's a smaller scale, but those communities shut down to go watch the Bobcats, to go watch the Grizzlies. It is humongous. It's just, they know when the games are, they know who they're playing, they're educated fans, and you love it. Now, Sacramento State has started to build themselves a program. They've been a playoff team 4 years in a row. 3 of the 4, they won the Big Sky Championship. And it's happening. It's building. It's growing. Consistently, the fan base, it's more and more people out at Hornet Stadium with subpar facilities. And I think, like anything, when you build something new, it's better. I love Darko Arena. Golden One Center is a better arena. I mean, it's fabulous. It's a great place to be. And you get, anytime you just feel like you're at somewhere that's nice and better, you want to be a part of it. So if the Hornets get this new stadium, and when they do, and have better facilities, suites and press box locations and bathrooms and concessions and parking and all that stuff that comes with it, that will just elevate the overall experience. And it just kind of spills over into every element. You start to get what is a pretty good high school breeding ground for college players in our area. And some people right away going, oh, I want to go play on a bigger stage. Well, if Sacramento was already a bigger stage, now maybe you get some of the elite level players from our local region that also want to stay here. They're already done a good job of recruiting from here. Both Sacramento and Davis have done that. But the players that are going to Alabama, Michigan, Florida State, USC, that those are going to be tough players to get, but maybe you can. But it's those players that are left to go to, Florida Atlantic, BYU, Oregon State. It's like, why can't Sacramento State get those players, or UC Davis? And I think they can. And this exposure going up, if it does happen, playing at a nicer stadium, I think is all what starts to happen in building a program and being a part of the program and seeing what they've done. And to Troy's point, the market size, I think, is the biggest and largest advantage that Sacramento State has in its quest to move up. As the Pac-12 is currently constructed, this is a fact, is currently constructed, the teams that were added, if the Hornets were selected, they would be the second largest television market amongst that group. The biggest market would be Colorado State, who's new to the conference. So they don't have Cal and Stanford anymore. They don't have UCLA and USC, Arizona State, all the teams that have left, Colorado, Denver, Utah, they're gone. So the way it's currently constructed, Sacramento State would be a California school, a Northern California school, Sacramento market. It would be a big market. And when whatever the version of the new Pac-12 becomes, and they're looking for a new television deal, that is a difference maker. That's, to me, the biggest and largest advantage Sacramento State has. They have more disadvantages right now, facilities, which they are working on. Being an FCS team, in general, FBS teams are not trying to take on that many FCS teams because now you're, imagine the biggest pieces of the pie, and now you're sharing more of that money with teams coming in. They don't love that. I mean, right? You're just taking little slivers out, and that's something with, the Alabama. Can they all afford it? Sure. But you take money out of anybody's pockets, nobody's a fan of that. So you've got that. You got facilities disadvantages. You've got a reputation from the past that some still have. And even I've seen, as someone that's been involved in the Big Sky Conference a long time, people, unlike Troy, but people from Montana, Montana State, maybe Weber State, North Dakota State out of the conference, South Dakota State that have been perennial powers, they go, Sac State's never won a Big Sky champion or a national championship. They're not that much of a regulars in the postseason. Why would you elevate them? Why wouldn't they have to dominate their level first? That's not exactly how this is working, where you'd look at Montana, North Dakota State, South Dakota State. These have been perennial powers, national champions, but we're back to market size. That is a deal. Right or wrong, that is a big deal. And North Dakota State, amazing program. South Dakota State, amazing program. Tailgate, fans, robust. They've got all of that, but they're missing out on some of those other things. And so if you're going, hey, television advertiser and television production group, look, we've got an opportunity to have this conference, but we can get you in California, we can get you in South Dakota. You want to be in California. So I think that's where the advantages lie for Sacramento. The other advantage is now you're getting a ton of attention. The president has jumped out in front of this and been bold and ambitious. You've got political leaders here. Doesn't mean it always is going to work, but you got a lot of people putting their name and face and an entity out there. You got a school that I'm sure, they've got it. The school on their hand has to kind of cover all their bases because they are still a member of the Big Sky. If they don't get invited, they can't say, oh, we always wanted out of the Big Sky. They got a conference they're in currently, but I got to believe if they can move to the Mountain West or the Pac-12, they'd be all in for that.
And getting Golden One, I think, is huge too, because not only will they have a huge place to play at, but it also gives them some relief of, okay, we don't have to do the football stadium and the basketball stadium at the same time. And I was talking with my cousin about this yesterday. It's like, man, I don't think people realize how small Sac State's basketball court is. I was telling him, I said, I played in my school where we were sometimes playing in barns and on carpet, but we would also go to the other Division 5 schools where their gyms were like immaculate and are way better than Sac State's gym.
Yeah, and that's, Sac State's done their part to make the nest better, but it's anybody that's been there knows it's just, to your point, Chris, there are high school gyms that are better. And so in the short term, when you're recruiting or saying, hey, our games are now going to be, look, the television angles, even just something as simple as wiring and feeding and the possibility of broadcasting a basketball game, it's ready to go. I mean, every Kings game's on, so they know that can happen. Multiple locker rooms. You have everything, all of that. Now, the concern about playing at a place like Golden One is, let's say the Hornets get 3,000, 4,000 for a game. Well, that doesn't look very good in a 17,000 seat arena. So that's the stopgap for now. That also helps. It just sounds bigger and better. And so they're kind of lining things up to make this jump. It's, again, back to you've got to get the invite. They've got to be the ones that want you.
And I do hope that they're smart with it because, I mean, we've seen this with Kings tickets. They are very expensive because the team is doing well.
Mm-hmm.
They're hoping to make the playoffs. This would be a great move to start advertising to lower income of just like, hey, you can't go to Golden One for a Kings game. Come check out Sac State play here.
Right. Well, and the other part that, football's getting the attention, certainly basketball does too, but this would be a move in all sports. And there, you got to think about the other elements. Could that be, is that better for everybody involved? So it's an exciting time. I would have said, Chris, years ago, like, no, there's no chance.
No chance.
And then even when you first heard about it, I'm like, I don't think so. I mean, I just, people would ask, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how they pull it off. Then just the more and more things keep happening and just truly the chaos that we're in and teams that have been approached that have turned down, others that are interested. And just really there's really no entity that's like, that we're covering all of this. We're protecting. It's almost like there could be an announcement like, yeah, they've moved to the Pac. It's like, wow, it really happened.
Yeah, this only works if USC and UCLA leave the Pac-12.
Yeah, and Texas and Oklahoma move. And then here's Arizona State. Like all of this has all happened. And it could get us to either a grander, bigger picture or a reshuffling later. But in this chaos is opportunity. And I think Sac State realizes it. They're trying to get their ducks lined in a row, same with the Sac-12. And they've made this interesting. I will definitely say that. I did not think this was a possibility. I don't know if it will happen for certain. But they have put their name in the running. And it's not hey, there's zero chance. There's a chance. It's just, will it happen? We're going to talk more about this. We're going to get more feedback, more from you guys on the text line and the YouTube, and certainly on the phone lines, 916-339-1140, 1-800-920-1140, and just how we keep growing as a sports town. Obviously, we know we have the Kings. We've added soccer. Could that soccer go to a higher level? Baseball is coming. It was announced yesterday that the tournament, March Madness, will be back here. Where are we going to be at in Sacramento? Can we house all these things? And how much we are truly growing in that fight that I think the city has always had. No, we're a little place. We're not LA. We're not San Francisco. But wait, we're a big city. Like there's been that dynamic that this city has fought for and fought itself between. I think they're doing now too. But we'll discuss that and how Sacramento keeps growing as a sporting entity. We'll do that next.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
Carmichael Dave here from my good friends at American Energy. Cool weather, if not cold weather, is in our future. You know that. It'll eventually get there, and American Energy wants to make sure your system is operating safely and properly. So now is the time to take advantage of the $49 fall tune-up inspection. That's regularly $119, but includes a full safety and duct inspection. And if your system's over 10 years old, it's free. The tune-up is on American Energy. Give them a call right now. They're offering $50 off your first recommended repair, or if you need a new furnace, that's half off the price of a new unit. American Energy been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You can check them out at theaeway.com for an instant quote. That's theaeway.com. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
place in the morning to get your sports fix.
Live and vocal.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
So I wasn't born here, but I feel like, this has been more than home. I've never lived anywhere longer than here. This has been the place, went to school, worked, got married, family here. I mean, this is home for me. But I think about all the things I've been to now in my years here in Sacramento. Chris, I've been to the Sacramento River Cats, so minor league baseball. I will go to the A's when they're here. Obviously the Kings. The Sacramento Knights indoor soccer. I went to the Sac Attack, the 1 year of arena football. There was a preseason Sharks hockey game at Arco Arena that I went to.
Do you remember who they were playing against?
Wasn't it Gretzky? It was, what team was Gretzky on? I could have sworn it was Wayne Gretzky, and maybe I'm just saying every hockey player.
I
was
think there's
Gretzky.
been a couple games, but I remember going against the Rangers, but I don't think Gretzky was there.
Maybe I'm confusing timelines here, but yeah. Gold Miners and Surge. I went to both of those. I went to a Mountain Lions game. Yep, Mountain Lions. That was at Sac State. I didn't go to the what was that roller arena or
the River Rats?
River Rats. I did not go to a River Rats. Been to boxing in town.
What's crazy, if you start to talk to older people from around that lived in Sacramento and talk about like the boxing nights at Arco,
legendary,
or at Memorial Auditorium, they talk about like these are the greatest sporting events of all time.
Yeah, a lot of people have said that. I didn't go to any MMA here. You've been to wrestling here,
of course. That is like a keystone in Sacramento. I hear from my aunts and uncles about their aunt taking them to Fox 40 and watching big time wrestling.
Yeah,
and like every big name coming through Sacramento.
Hey, you threw up at the Golden One, one of the first during a wrestling event. One of the first vomits at Golden One Center, courtesy of Christopher Laud. Obviously, Sac State, UC Davis. Never was here for baseball with the Solons back when.
They must have stopped the year before you got here.
Just before. I've been every single year, yes, that the NCAA tournament has been here. I think it was twice at Arco, twice already at Golden One, if I'm not mistaken. A third one's coming up. It's amazing kind of what we've had for what a lot of people at one point Republic have deemed, it's just a one-sport town. Yes and no, it's not really, but it's amazing how much we're growing, and that's kind of what I'd ask Kelly. So, Chris, if you imagine back to kind of what Sac State's trying to do, so let's say it happens. They get into the Sac 12, whatever that looks like to everybody in 5 years from now. Stadium is built by then, and they're in this version of the Pac-12. What's that look like on a Saturday hosting Boise?
Oh, man. I think that would be – now I'm just thinking like that'd be fun because you know that their Boise fans are going to travel for that.
Yeah.
And
hosting Fresno.
And I really like – you've seen the what the stadium's going to look like?
Yeah.
That looks incredible. And it looks like – it does look like a soccer stadium.
Well, see, and these are renderings, which I know they've had because this stadium's been worked on for a while. I don't know if this is the – things change. These kind of like we saw the first one for the A's in Vegas, like, whoa, that's different. Though a couple of comps I've heard is there's one down in LA, the soccer one, maybe Dignity Health for the is it Galaxy
Carson?
2?
Yeah. And that's Galaxy, yeah.
Oh, Galaxy. Okay, so they kind of have it's a horseshoe, but they've got the overhead like it's not a tarp, but kind of the shield for the sun. That's what this looks like.
Which we're gonna need if
yes
we've experienced these summers.
Yeah, and then you could also play a day game, right? Like right now the Hornets mainly play at night, and part of that's been. This is the stuff they've had to battle. And knowing how close I've been to the program, like game times have been important. We've tried them at 1, but youth soccer, like you're losing out to youth soccer. Oh, parents and kids, like that's conversations that were had. If you build a program and you get to this level and you are having, it's like, no, you're the event. Hey, kids are going to miss their soccer game to go watch the Hornets.
People are going to go just to go to the stadium.
Right. That's what you want. And then I've always said this about Sacramento, and I think you feel the same way, is that whenever events become, and the only way I've worded this, and I don't know any other way, is like if it's perceived to be cool, Sacramentans want to go. Like, oh, that's a thing. I'm going. Like, I'm going. That's gonna be cool. It's on TV, or this is a big game, or it's cool. I'm going.
At the soccer field, when they brought in rugby, people were going crazy for that. And rugby's huge in Sacramento.
Yeah.
And I think that's the stadium, I think, is a huge opportunity, not just for Sac State, but I would love to see rugby out there. I'd love to see, which we became a big fans of during the Olympics.
Yeah. And they're going to have that on the campus teams. But I mean, if that's continued to develop, could there be a Sacramento professional rugby team playing there?
And then, like, what that tells me, because rugby fields are bigger than football fields, it's going to be set up for soccer. I would love to see the Republic be a part of it, because one of the toughest things is just getting the stadium for MLS.
Yep.
And if you've got someone to take pressure off of that, I think that would be fantastic.
Sure. And I know that Dr. Wood, when he mentioned in his press conference a week ago, like, we could have tenants and, look, can you build 2 different stadiums? I know the Republic have been trying to build a stadium. Well, if the Hornets are first, like, you just don't know. I think that's a wrinkle that could be, potentially going on here. And it's just, there's so many possibilities here. And I like to think of that's the stuff I can picture. Like, they've already built some really nice things there. The program is so much better, and people like Dave's been talking about and get tailgating. I go, they've got actually a really good tailgating thing going on now.
Through there for the playoff game against was it South Dakota?
Yeah, a couple years ago. South Dakota.
Yeah, South Dakota and State. Just seeing like the setup for tailgates, like, oh man, this is a party I didn't know about.
Exactly. And it's really grown and could only grow more. And then obviously if you start to play teams that almost every year when Sac State plays up the level, and I'll go, oh, Sac State's going to play Fresno. They go, oh, they come in here. I go, no, they can't. These teams are paying the Hornets to go play there. Where if you're at the same level, now in bigger picture, like if you're in this Pac-12, now you can play Alabama. I mean, you could be, in theory, you have a great season, you could be a team in that final 12. I mean, that's why you move up. Now, that they could also start and be, I think, obviously, when you make the transition, you have to probably take a couple years before you're even eligible. You could also be 0-12. I mean, that's the reality of how this could go. But the excitement of what it can be, what it can be built, what Sacramentans are rallying around, to me, is kind of the charm of this community.
And then I think you could get a situation of looking even further, like 20 years from now, the kids growing up going to watch Sac State games and saying like, oh man, when I want to play here when I play.
That's what I've always thought of. Like years ago, I said this example about Ontario Smith, who ironically was one of the greatest players to ever play in this area, whose son is now at Sacramento State, Ontario Smith Jr. But let's look at Eric Armstead, Shaq Thompson, who went on to Washington and Oregon. But if they grew up, Chris, to your point, going like, I went to Hornet games, like I want to be the guy that plays here, that ends up with the statue out front. They can. Like Scadaboo left. He was a great Hornet. He's really good at Arizona State.
And it was one of those things of like, of course he's leaving.
Yeah. But maybe he stays. And maybe he becomes the greatest Hornet of all time. Those are the kind of things that you can have happen if you stay or get to that level. And that's the goal. So glad we had that conversation. Good stuff. Thank you guys for checking in on that as well. When we come back, it's that time. 4 Down Territory. 4 questions regarding the NFL. Still to come. Who's hot and who's not in this hour. And let's go streaking. All straight ahead here on Sac Down Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
Insurance companies perform a very valuable service, but they want to keep their money. Although most cases settle before trial, it is paramount that the insurance companies know that if pressed, your legal team has the experience to take your case all the way. For 25 years, Ashton and Price has earned the reputation that if the insurance company isn't fair, we're ready to force them to be fair. My mom used to warn me, wait till dad gets home. Think of us as dad. The best part, there's no fee until we win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sep Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is. Live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sep Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sep's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sacktown Sports 1140.
There's no better time than now to get yourself into a brand new Jeep because it's Jeep Adventure Days at Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, offering the best deals in town and a selection other dealers are jealous of. Stop on by. They're just off of Business 80 across from Hagen Oaks Golf Complex. Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Your water heater, old, rusty, forgotten. We hardly ever even think about them until there's no hot water. Right now, get incredible rebates up to $3,000 off and financing available for as little as $40 a month. Leave it to Bonnie to crank up the heat.
Hey, October's already heating up on the Sacktown Sports live events calendar. Enjoy family fun at Dave's Pumpkin Patch in West Sacramento all month long. Pick your perfect pumpkin, navigate the corn maze, jump on a massive jumping pillow, and create unforgettable memories for the kids. On October 20th, don't miss Renee Vaca at the Crest Theater for a night of laughs and entertainment. And mark your calendar for Sinners and Saints, the region's best Halloween party on October 26th at the venue at Thunder Valley, complete with a $5,000 costume contest. It's the most spooktacular event of the season. Looking ahead into November, join us for Legends of Motown at the venue at Thunder Valley November 23rd, bringing you the classic hits that defined a generation. And you're not going to want to miss the Jersey Boys Midtown Men Holiday Show December 8th, also at the venue at Thunder Valley. It's going to be a night filled with festive cheer and old school classics. And stay tuned to Sacktown Sports for all your live event updates and your chance to win tickets.
Don't let summer energy slip away. Live the active life you love year-round with a personally fit arch support system from the Good Feet store. Precision engineered to support all four arches. Good Feet puts your feet in a more ideal, comfortable, and pain-free position. And Good Feet arch supports are now HSA and FSA eligible. Book a free fitting at goodfeet.com or come in and get a free pair of OS First Performance socks. Free. Normally a $25 value at the Good Feet store.
Carmichael Dave.
He has very good sources, and he just kind of tells it as it is and gets to the point.
Jason Ross.
He has a lot of pretty smart things to say.
He's good at what he does.
On Sacktown Sports.
Good conversation we had over the last half hour or so on Sacramento State and their future and actually the present. Anything you ever miss on the show, certainly go back to sacktownsports.com. Our YouTube coverage, all our show can be watched later. You can listen to it on our podcast page. Many different ways to find us. And we know that some of you aren't up at 6 a.m. and listening to every part of the show, but you can catch up on our show at any time. And certainly all the shows here on Sacktown Sports. We'll have Styles and Watkins joining us in a little over an hour. And then certainly this afternoon, the Drive Guys with Whitey and Draper all coming up here on our regular routine here on Sacktown Sports. We do have football beginning tonight with Thursday Night Football. Let's get into some NFL right now, though, with 4 down territory.
Buccaneers versus Falcons to start week 5 tonight. Who you got?
Who do I got? Oh, yeah. Texter says, Jason, you forgot the Monarchs. I shouldn't have. Champion Monarchs.
Oh, yeah.
Worked for the Monarchs. Got a championship ring from the Monarchs. All the way live in 2005. Oh, man, we're almost on the 20-year anniversary from the Monarchs championship. Man. I had a full head of flowing hair back then. Looking dreamy.
Flowing?
No. Kind of wavering.
Some might say floundering.
A lot said floundering. Who do I got tonight? Let's go with the I've been impressed with Tampa's what they've done. I'd pick the Falcons to win that division. Give me the Falcons. I think the Falcons are going to find a way to win that one tonight. Who you got in that one, Chris?
I also have the Falcons.
Okay.
I need something big from Bijan Robinson.
Oh, is he one of your guys?
Yeah.
he's been okay, right? Just okay.
He's been fine, but not
not disappointing,
pick.
but yeah, because he is a first round guy. That's a problem. Again, I think we're back at it. We're like, I know in our station league, with a lot of grief when you were picking, second?
Yeah.
And Emil, who we believe is truly the insider, knew what was going on with McCaffrey, took Breece Hall. Breece Hall hasn't been that great, so it's a problem. Everybody takes running backs with that hope, like here we go, but. Yeah, Robinson's been okay. All right, second down.
We have our first London game this weekend with the Jets versus the Vikings. Are you a fan?
Well, here's how I do it. I don't get up early for that game. So when I wake up, I'm like, I'll usually forget and then see on my phone somewhere like, what a catch by Justin Jefferson. Wait, what? Oh, yeah, London game.
How many people are like, crap, I didn't set up my lineup.
I know. I generally try to do my lineup today, Thursday, unless something weird happens, just so I'm covered at least at a minimum. I would say, I guess I'm not a fan. This is probably finally for a change. This is good for the East Coast. I think we have it so great with NFL Sundays. I just love it. Basically, wake up. I'm usually up, obviously, before 10. Then you get to the first game, the games in red zone, or if the Niners are on or Raiders are on at 10, then I'm in. But it's just a full day affair, but probably this is finally good. This is a win to me for the East Coast, Chris, on football in London.
I like it, especially on the West Coast, especially if it's a West Coast team, because now you know how I feel waking up every single weekend for soccer.
Yeah. You do that without fail?
Yes.
What's the earliest you've been up for a soccer match?
Last Saturday, 4:30.
Okay, so it's not to the point where you could just stay awake.
No,
I mean,
have.
You could, but
my buddies and I, we went to Vegas, and he's an Everton fan. I'm a Man City fan, and we stayed up till 4:30 to watch the first soccer game first English Premier League game I ever watched ever. I stayed up the whole night, and it was a 7 a.m. start.
Woo!
It was
worth it.
Yeah, I got. That's how I became a Manchester City fan. A group of English people took me under their wings,
and here you are today.
And took me on the night of my life.
Yeah. Do you have a game this weekend?
Yes.
What time are you getting up?
I am getting up at 7 a.m.
Oh,
I'm not sure.
On Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday. I believe it's Saturday. I am going to.
Because if it's Sunday, then you could watch part of this London game.
Oh, yeah, it is Sunday, 7 a.m. Oh, yeah. Our guy, Joe Cook, is going to be upset playing his team Fulham.
Oh, wow. It's a battle. Yeah, I don't know. The London games, honestly.
When I say Sunday, I say Saturday.
Yeah. By Sunday, I meant Saturday. They don't do anything per se for me, and I don't know if it screws up these teams at all and the travel and all that. I mean, the Vikings-Jets is not a bad game. Actually, it's a pretty good game. So I'll see the end of it.
This really tells you how terrible preseason NFL games are, because if you see when the soccer teams come over for their preseason game, it's never a regular season game, and you get like 100,000 people out to see Real Madrid versus Chelsea in Michigan, and then like if we're sending our preseason game over there, it's like a terrible game that nobody cares about.
Yeah, but this is regular season.
Yeah,
and yeah.
Like that's the fear, is like the American owners in the English Premier League are pushing for American regular season games over here. Get out of here.
All right, let's go to third down.
The 49ers played the 1-3 Cardinals this week. The next time the 49ers play a team below 500 will be week 15.
Wow.
Does that make this a must win on Sunday?
Well, what did Greg Papa tell us last week? I gotta have win. It's probably more of that, because look, they can beat some of the teams that are playing after this that have 500 or better records, and those also records could change by the time they're on the schedule. The Niners can beat anybody, but they need this is a must. They got to have it, not a must win. They got to have this game. So I don't know if we're just doing semantics here, but if they lost, they're not buried, they're not out, they're not in trouble, or they might be in trouble. The part that would hurt them is that would be 2 league losses already. They would have lost to the Rams and the Cardinals, 2 sub-500 teams, but in the NFC West. So I do believe they'll win. I know the Cardinals have had some trouble stopping teams, gave up a ton of points last week to the Commanders. But yeah, this feels like a game that you just got to have if you're the 49ers. Get yourself back over 500, get yourself back feeling better, get yourself healthier, and then get closer to the middle of the season and make that push for the back end of the season. So there you go. How about 4th down?
Stephon Diggs faces his old team in the Buffalo Bills. Will this be awkward? We're all good.
This is weird because there definitely feels like there's something going on between Josh Allen, what he has said, what Diggs had said, what Diggs' brother had said while he was in Buffalo. Now, the saving grace, I guess, is this game is in Houston, so Diggs won't have to hear it from the Bills fans. But there's something there, and I don't know that it'll be weird at the game, but I feel like Diggs might say something, and I don't know what that means, or if the Bills win, like, hey, we're glad we have this group, or I love the guys that we have in our locker room. So I just feel like there's enough subtle jabs between the sides.
Yeah, I think it'd be afterwards. I don't think there'd be anything during the game.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the last time we had like a really genuine feud that really was legit on the field too. I know they happened.
Steelers, Bengals.
Yeah,
those years.
Yeah, Devontae's perfect, hitting everybody late and getting after people. But it's good. It's good to have a little bit of fight, a little bit of meaning to these games, and both teams are pretty good. The Houston Texans and the Buffalo Bills. That is your 4-down territory on the text line. Chris, what did you think of the McMahon documentary?
It was very good. I think everyone should watch it.
Wrestling fan or not?
Wrestling fan or not, I think, because it is very WWE is a very American company. And I think for wrestling fans, you're gonna see things that you've heard about, but actually seeing people like Vince McMahon actually talking about the Bret Hart screw job. That is very interesting to see. And just like from rumors that you've heard from the actual people actually talking about that, I think wrestling fans will like it. Just the history of everything. If you're not a wrestling fan, I think you're going to say like, how is any of this legal?
Right.
How has this man been able to get away with this for so long?
And you said, I think the other, but he looks terrible in this, right?
Yes. And, but the thing is like, there are people saying like, oh, he looks really bad in this. They left a lot of the bad things that he has done.
So it's worse.
Yes.
Wow. But worthwhile. Is it like a 1-parter or
it's
like
a 6-part?
Oh, okay.
I've seen it twice already.
Really?
Yeah.
What platform?
Netflix.
Oh, Netflix. Okay. All right. There you go. Hopefully that helped you out there, texture as well. We appreciate the text coming in, 916-339-1140. YouTube chat. Hello to all of you out there. Thank you so much for being here. When we return, we got to ask the question of who's hot. Also, we'll find out who's not. Our playoff streaking. How are we doing? We'll have all that and more as we continue on Sacktown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sacktown Sports.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Whoa, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
When shopping for a new car, what do you want? A great selection? A low monthly payment? More for your trade? At Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda, you get it all.
Model year-end savings are going on now. It's savings you just can't say no to.
Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Number one claims based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company sold on report.
Have you heard you can listen to your favorite news podcasts ad-free? Good news! With Amazon Music, you have access to the largest catalog of ad-free top podcasts included with your Prime membership. Enjoy shows like The Daily, Up First, and Consider This, available ad-free on Amazon Music. To start listening, download the Amazon Music app for free or go to amazon.com/ad-free. That's amazon.com/ad-free to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Do you have old baseball cards and sports memorabilia from the 50s and 60s collecting dust in your closet? They could be very valuable in any condition. Find out at the Sports Cards Roadshow. We'll be in the Sacramento area to evaluate your old and modern sports cards. Visit sportscardsroadshow.com today to schedule your appointment. Ask about your free on-site sports card evaluation. For large vintage and modern collections, we can come to you. Skip the garage sale. Sports Cards Roadshow is buying. Call 1-800-560-3272 today or visit sportscardsroadshow.com. What's hot and what's not? Brought to you by American Energy Heat and Air, making the uncomfortable comfortable. Head to AmericanEnergyAir.com to find out more.
What's hot?
Yeah, hot. Real hot. And what's not?
It's not good. Brought to you by American Energy Heating and Air, Sacramento's complete heating and cooling company, and second opinion partner.
All right, Chris, who is hot? Let's find out in the sports world. Who we got?
Jackson Chourio.
Yeah, he is.
In yesterday's 5-3 Brewers win over the Mets, he hit 2 game-tying home runs. He's the first player in MLB history to hit 2 game-tying home runs in a postseason game since,
I don't know,
Babe Ruth.
Whoa.
Who accomplished the feat in the 1928 World Series in Game 4 against the St. Louis Cardinals.
Jackson? Nice. Nicely done. That was a fun game yesterday with the Brewers. Good comeback win.
Why is this on every thing? What? It's playing out of the 2 channels. Okay.
All right.
I have to do something here.
All right. You do something while we've got the what's hot and who's hot, and that's Jackson Chourio of the Milwaukee Brewers. We have a follow-up, though. We've got to know who's not so hot.
The Baltimore Orioles. They were swept by the Royals 2-1 yesterday. Orioles were also swept last season by the Rangers in the playoff series before that. Actually, before that, the 2016 wild card, they lost to the Toronto Blue Jays in a 1-game wild card game. They were also swept in 2014 in the ALCS by the Kansas City Royals again. In fact, they have not won a game since the 2014 ALDS when, hey, they did sweep the Detroit Tigers.
Okay. So they're getting the wrong team. They're playing the wrong team at the wrong time. Man, that's brutal when you have a really good year. So much excitement for the postseason. You're at home. You get to host that 3-game series. You lose game 1, 1-0 when really nothing's really going on. And then yesterday you get 1 run and you're out. That's brutal. I still would you rather be, Chris, the team that makes the playoffs and is out quickly or not make the playoffs at all?
Make the playoffs and out quickly.
Yeah, me too. It's just better. It's better to be a part of it. It's important to be a part of it. It's important to get there, to have that taste, to know what you need, to work on, to get the fans excited, even if that's for a short term in Baltimore. I mean, that was a really quick turnaround and they're out. And think about that. They lost at home. You had the Astros losing at home. I guess technically today the Brewers could be eliminated from home. Padres are the only home team to win the two, and the series is done. On to the next. I think the next round could be a lot of fun in the National League specifically, but yeah, certainly in the American League as well. So that's who's hot, who's not. We are participating in playoff streaking. So let's see how we did.
It's time to go streaking.
We're going streaking!
Who is the Nostradamus of MLB? Who can keep the streak going? It's time to go streaking.
What the hell are you doing?
Streaking.
We're streaking.
Or are we? Well, playoff streaking. Dave did not have a hit in his first playoff day. Chris and I are working on a 1-game streak. So let's see if we can extend. We'll start with Dave. He took Fernando Tatis Jr. And Tatis Jr. got him 3 times. He got 3 hits. 3 for 3.
Whoa.
Yeah, Dave was on fire. So he goes to 1. I was trying to get to 2 with my 1-game hitting streak, and I took Francisco Lindor of the New York Metropolitans. He had 2 walks. He got up twice, 2 official plate appearances. 0 for 2.
Loser! You're a loser! Are you feeling sorry for yourself? Well, you should be, because you are dirt!
That almost hurts more.
Get a hit next time.
I guess I better. Well, let's see how you did then. With a 1-game hitting streak, you took Jose Iglesias from the New York Metropolitans. He got up 5 times, and he got 1 hit. Chris is in. He's at 2. Dave's at 1. I'm at 0. I did text Dave, who is off today and tomorrow. He said he's going to, and there's only 1 game today, the Mets Brewers. He's going to go with Francisco Lindor.
That's not the player he gave me.
Who did he give you?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh. I am going to take, he's hot, Jackson Churio.
All right. Okay. All right.
What? You're not going to take him because I'm bad luck or what?
I just wanted something different. I am going to take.
You've never taken a Brewer.
You know what? I'm going to take Rhys Hoskins.
Yeah. Stingers up. Reese. I should have done that.
Should have.
Jackson Churio, but I'm taking Jackson.
You're gonna go 0 for 3.
Well, I might. All right, so there you go. We went streaking again. Dave at 1. I'm at 0. In our playoff streak, we do have to remember next year, Chris, that you and I are on a 1-game hitting streak in the regular season.
Correct.
Carrying it over. That's going to be the start of a 45-game hitting streak.
I am 100% going to remember that too.
Come next, March, when the A's are in their debut in Sacramento.
Ugh.
No for you?
No.
I mean, it's I'm so torn on it. Obviously, my answer is no. I want them to stay in Oakland. That's first and foremost. That's what should happen. But if they are moving, which obviously seems like they are, I will enjoy baseball here in Sacramento.
Here's what hurts really bad too is like, okay, John Fisher has decided I deserve the team more than Oakland deserves a team.
Sure.
And we have seen from Oakland that when given a chance to root for the A's, they do it as good as anybody else in baseball. Now we saw with these broadcasting, like in court with the, what is it, Diamond Broadcasting?
Oh, yeah.
And they're just saying like, you know what? We're done. You can either do a 1-year deal with us or just figure something else for broadcasting for all these teams.
Yeah.
We're just going to keep the Braves. And this is a big problem. Like,
yes,
with the Padres who are in the playoffs, MLB had to take over their broadcasting rights because no one wanted to broadcast their games.
Yeah.
And you're taking Oakland away. And even Vegas, where we talk about how good the Golden Knights are and how well they've done, they're on broadcast television because there's no cable company that wants to pay for the rights of the Knights in Vegas, where they are loved.
Which is actually an interesting thing, and it was even being discussed at the NBA league meetings when I was there. Like a couple of entities, I think it's the Jazz and the Phoenix Suns are the two that I know of. I believe I'm right on that that have chosen to kind of take that path, Chris, where they're not going to a regional sports network or a different entity to pay for the rights. So there's a big money loss there, but they feel the overall win is to be on broadcast television. So they've worked out a deal with local. So there's more people that have it. So, for example, remember when the Kings used to be on ABC 10 for 35 to 40 games a year? Well, more people in general have that. I wonder what the numbers are now, but there was a time for sure that more people had that than cable or a specific outlet to get these games. So the argument is, let's get in front of more eyes and ears and more people, more homes. And yeah, we're not getting the rights fee from a cable package, but we've got more stuff out. Maybe we sell more swag, more games, more interest. It's an interesting, someone's going to do the study, and I don't know if there's a right or wrong or a better or worse, but I don't know if we're going to have a cycle back and forth. I mean, what will become interesting, like the NBA, we talked about this as a radio situation in the league meetings where, less people probably, I do know less people listen to a radio game than they watch the game. I think that's just factual. But could there be a bounce back in radio listening in the NBA, let's say, per se, with things being on Amazon, on Peacock, on, different pay? Like, not everybody has that. And if they want to watch the Kings or listen to the Kings in this case, or the Utah Jazz, whatever the team, maybe there's actually a bounce back to some higher listening back to radio.
Well, you're talking about the Utah Jazz. I think I sent this to you guys the other day of them making concessions cheaper at Jazz games to make it easier. Because, like, you go to games, it's crazy how much prices are, and they're selling like $2 waters and $3 boxes of popcorn.
Yeah.
Like, yes, please.
Right. I mean, that's where who does that in the NFL? Falcons?
Yes.
Yeah. I think that makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
I mean, the ticket's expensive or relatively expensive. I mean, it's depending on where you buy, but you're paying for it, likely parking. I don't know how many people get souvenirs at the game, but let's say you do. You should have every right to, where you're not just outpriced. But then, yeah, can you get affordable food like that? I think you would sell more, wouldn't you?
You would think so.
You would
think.
think.
I would hope so.
You know what? I actually would like another hot dog, and it only cost me $3. I'll go get another one. But not $9, and
I was talking to my friend. His son's in football and really liking football. He wants to take his kid to a Niner game. He's like, I'm looking at it. He's like, the cost I'm taking them to go to a football game. He's like, I might as well take them to Disneyland.
Right?
Like, it's the same price.
Yeah. And I still think there's such a beauty and greatness in being in community and being at the game. I would rather be at the game. I know the arguments for, I'm sitting on my couch, it's my own food, my own bathroom, my own drinks, my own food, whatever it is, and I don't have to park, I don't have to use gas. I sitting right there in front of my TV and I can pause it, I can not watch it, I can change the channel, I can yell at my own TV. I'm not going to get in a fight with a fan, whatever. But if there's a preference, I would rather be at the game. But I get it. That's become a much more expensive ticket.
Like high-fiving a complete stranger
yeah.
at the game.
But that's like, some of those moments are great. I truly love, from our perch where I sit, and where my seats are, and for the broadcast, and to see like a great Kings moment, to see that, just to see the community of fans that some of those people are together, and other people, like, they're just hugging. They're happy that Fox hit the game winner. I don't think they know each other, but they're wearing Kings jerseys, so everybody's won. And that's a really cool thing to see. Doesn't mean the TV experience isn't good. It is. But I think if you could be there, it's just, that to me is the best thing. All right, we've got 1 hour to go. Niners at 9 coming your way. Still more Kings training camp sound 2 days into camp. We've got some reaction from the guys on how that's going so far coming up. But next, Niners at 9. Let's take a little look at the division. The NFC West, I thought it would look one way at this point. It's looking a little bit different. We'll discuss kind of all the other teams, and the Niners included. We'll do that when we come back on Sacktown Sports.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
It's a toss to McCaffrey, a cutback run 30, breaks 340. McCaffrey midfield. McCaffrey 40, 30, 20, and toasted all the way down to the 3-yard line on the first play of the game. CMC Dynamite!
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year. And thank you for so many wonderful memories.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double hot, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Hey, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Well, I do now.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
Did you say you're cutting me off?
You earn, we match. Unlimited cashback match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
This report is brought to you by Macy's. Don't miss Macy's VIP sale. Use your coupon or Macy's card and take an extra 30% off the latest fall trends and save 15% off skincare, makeup, and more. Savings off regular and already reduced prices. Exclusions apply. Now at Macy's.
With Wendy's, breakfast burrito is everything you want for breakfast. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, American cheese, cheese sauce, bacon, or sausage, all rolled up into one warm tortilla. Want the boss of breakfast burritos? Gotta be Wendy's at participating U.S. Wendy's.
Model year-end pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the model year-end event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sacktown Sports 1140. The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone. And then boom,
with Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports.
Oh!
Oh, this is nice from Chris the mom on the text line. I listened to Sac State games on the radio because you were calling the games. Now you're on TV, which is great. I do, both home and home games on TV, the road on radio. I love it. Thank you, Chris the mom. Really appreciate that. Another one I wanted to bounce off you, Chris, because I saw this, and this is something I think is fallen more in line with you, and I know Dave, then I think I just haven't had this experience much. I was just talking about I prefer to go to the games as opposed to, you don't go to every game, so I watch more games on TV than I go to. But if I had the choice to have a ticket or to watch the game on TV, I'd rather go to the game. I think there's just something special about being at games. I just love it. But A.A. Ron, a faithful texter and YouTuber, says, let me see here. I got to go back up a little bit here. As I've gotten older, sitting at a sports bar watching a game I cared about is an unenjoyable experience. Way too many people piping off like they are the third broadcaster.
Oh, yeah.
So tell me about sports bar watching experience.
I think it's very situational, because I've had situations like that where I'm somewhere, it's just like, dude, just shut up.
Yeah, because I think I've been at a sport, but it might be like where games are on. Like, it's not the Kings are playing. I'm in Sacramento, and everybody most likely wants the Kings to win. I'm at a place that Notre Dame is playing Cincinnati, and it's like, hey, that's a fun game, and I'm in Fresno, or whatever.
It is funny that you brought that up, because last year when I was in Cincinnati, I was there for the first couple of games.
Okay.
And I took my aunt, uncle, and cousin I'm like, hey, find me a sports bar so that we can watch a game. It was tough because it was the Warriors, and it's like a 10:00 game. And there's this guy that kept like looking at me and like watching the game and looking at me watching the game, because like I'm rooting for the Kings. And he's like, you got money on this or something? Because like sports gambling is there now.
Sure.
And I'm like, no, I want the Kings to win. And he's like, you a Laker fan or something? And it's like, no, I'm a Kings fan. He's like, oh, who's a Kings fan? And I'm like, the Kings were here, right?
Right. Yeah.
He's just like, what do you mean they played here? And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, they played here, then they went to Kansas City. He's like, oh, I didn't know that. We had an NBA team.
Oh boy. So what's it like in general? And I know you've been to sports bars here or places that air the game. What's it like to be here for that?
So I was lucky enough. One of my favorite places, I said it a couple of times, is the Limelight. And they've done a pretty good job of showing the Kings games, because like this was a funny conversation I had with Nick Cattles when he first moved here. And ironically, the Kings were just getting good. It's like, whoa, the Kings might be for real this season. And he said, hey, Chris, what's a good sports bar to go to watch a Kings game? I was like, I don't know. They've never been good since I've been 21. I've never experienced going to a bar when the Kings were good. And so I've been lucky enough. I saw the Fox game winner in Chicago there. And
see, that's fun.
Yeah, and I watched the Clippers Kings game there. But it was really cool.
The crazy one?
Yeah, like the 180 to whatever. But what was really cool was like they're just starting to get good, and I had to go in and say, like, can you turn the station on the Kings game?
Okay.
And like music is still playing. Like, can we get the volume for the game? And
can you hear things in there?
Well, they've got music and stuff like that. So as the game's going on, you get more and more people like starting to pay more attention to it. Then people are getting louder.
Yeah.
Then people are cheering for every basket. Then people are high-fiving each other around the bar. Like we just saw that.
Now you got the community going.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that part would be great. I guess those are great. Those are winning examples. There's, you can go to the bar, be around Kings fans, and it's like, I lost by 34 tonight. Those. I mean, I guess that happens if you're at the game too. But I just I haven't really had that experience that often.
See, and then as a Manchester City fan, like I go to San Francisco so I can watch with other Manchester City fans.
And I guess in my mind, I'm thinking of like the scenarios where, like, I think Ron's talking about, the person thinking they're the third broadcast, they've had a few drinks, they're like, Mike Brown should call a timeout here because with two, are we doing coach stuff? Are we doing ref stuff?
The one I like is a person. That's why I said this person needs to play because of blah, blah, blah. Right. It's like, okay, man.
Yeah. You don't have any point in the minutes here. Yeah. All right. Well, that's maybe something I'll take in at some point. Maybe I'll go to a soccer match with you at one of these bars.
Oh.
Just to enjoy that experience, to live that.
I'll find out when the next Manchester Derby is at Zebra.
Okay.
I'll let you know.
Okay. First MacGruber, then Zebra Club, and it's a date.
Hey, they're right at the same place.
You're loco, man. Oh, my goodness. All right. Niners at 9 time. The 49ers right now, kind of doing a quarter of the season check-in, have been okay. Light. I think their best football is ahead of them. I think we've seen what's funny about this is their record at 2-2. Bad loss, I would say, certainly to the Rams. The Vikings game doesn't feel like as bad of a loss at the moment as it did maybe when it happened. They just didn't play well, and that happens. The Vikings did play well, and the Niners kind of stuck around in a game that I didn't think they could win, and nearly at the end, it's like maybe they'll pull this off. The Rams game shouldn't have happened, but it did. They got to learn why it did. That doesn't happen to them that often. Having a game more in their standard, more in their DNA, and a Rams team that was injured found a way to win, and you can just tell how much that meant to the Rams at the time. But if you kind of do a division survey, if we work from the bottom and start with the Rams, a team that's 1-3, a team that I personally had playoff hopes for. I thought this was going to be a playoff team again. I think it's a good roster, good coach, but they've been just gutted by offensive line injuries and their top 2 receivers. So it's been more difficult for Stafford and company. Kyron Williams has done okay at 1-3, some bad losses, a great win against the Niners that they'll take. They got to try to hold on here long as possible to get some reinforcements back and see if they can still make a push. But at 1-3, the feather in their cap is the win over the Niners. Other than that, it's been a tough injury-filled start for them. And to be honest, like I said earlier, it's been a bit of a surprise to me. I thought this would be a better football team than they've been. There are some reasons for it, but they haven't found a way to get more wins than they have. And actually, maybe they're fortunate to have the one win at this point. The Cardinals, the Niners' next opponent, they are 1-3. And if you look at kind of their overall situation here, I was probably more impressed in the two of the games that they lost. I thought they played well in Buffalo. I thought they played well at home against the Lions. They were awful last week against the Commanders. Their win came in week 2 when they were able to get a victory over the Rams, and they blew them out. It was a hot start by Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr., and they just never looked back. This is a team, I wouldn't say they're totally rebuilding, but I just don't think they were ready to quite be an NFC playoff team this year. 1-3 start. Still get familiar with their coach from a year ago, Coach Gannon, and just kind of keep building and trying to decide, look, Murray's back. What kind of QB can he be? Can he still be the QB of the future? I know they're very excited about Marvin Harrison Jr. He's looks to be a brilliant piece to that receiving core. And just try to accrue as many wins as possible this year. And they got a big one this week. Look, they can make a big statement if they can come into San Francisco and beat the 49ers. The team that's leading the division, 4 weeks in, I still would like to see more from Seattle. You can only play the schedule that's in front of you. And their win resume doesn't blow you away. The opening win was close over Denver at home. Week 2, they had to go to overtime, but they did win in New England. Week 3, an easy win. Miami was a mess that week, but look, again, you don't have to apologize for your wins, and they were 3-0. This last week, they ended up losing by double digits to the Lions, but after the first half, they kind of found something, and I was actually impressed with Seattle hanging with Detroit the way they did. Their comeback, Kenneth Walker back, getting a couple of touchdowns. Geno Smith has continued to be a nice story, really. I mean, I felt like he was kind of just put in there as a stopgap QB, but they found a guy for the last couple of years that's done a nice job for them. And so as they go along, like this week, they'll be favorites against the Giants if they can get to 4-1. And then they've played the Niners twice in about a 5-game stretch. And probably for their sake, if they could just get a split, they'd feel good about that. And they don't have to play amazing football the rest of the way. Basically, if they play closer to 500, that's likely a playoff team. So Seattle's been a nice surprise. I didn't know how they would be after losing Pete Carroll. It's kind of a different feel. New coaching staff there. They've done a nice job, gotten the wins that they were kind of supposed to, which is what you want to see. If they could sneak out an upset or two along the way and keep winning the games, they still have games like, they play Arizona again, a team that the subpar record twice, actually. Play the Rams twice. If they can get wins like that, a win this weekend against New York, this team could be looking at a trip to the postseason, and maybe that was a bit unexpected. And then kind of finishing it off that division with the 49ers, where they are now, and the news they've gotten this week. Looks like yesterday Kittle and Warner weren't available for practice, but I don't believe there's major concern for those guys. And if you look at what this team is doing, the emergence of Juwan Jennings as the third leading receiver in the NFL right now, the emergence of Jordan Mason being the second leading rusher in the NFL right now, and what Brock Purdy has done. I think Brock Purdy's had a good year so far through 4 games, leading in the NFL in passing, and has had some of his weapons out. And he is just solidifying that QB1 role. He is the quarterback. There's no mystery. There's no footsteps behind him. He can have 2 bad games in a row. It's still his job, as long as he stays healthy. And he looks the part. His decision-making still good. Gets the guys in the right spots. I think when they audible, he has good calls there. The offense it's a well-run machine. And to me, the 49ers, even without all their players, haven't played their best football. But consistently, you feel like, look, they lost that Rams game, but up until the very end, I'm like, they're not going to lose this game. The Viking game, they didn't play great, but I'm like, man, they're somehow still in this game. They may sneak this one out. And the other two, the Jets, they really rolled. And after a slower start against the Patriots, like, again, they dominated that game. So I would expect them to take care of business with the Cardinals this week, though when you're in division, it's a little bit more difficult than people realize, just that knowledge that the Cardinals will have on the Niners in the prep time. But I like the Niners this week against the Cardinals. All right, how about the Kings? Let's bounce back to the NBA. The Kings preseason will begin in 6 days as far as the first game. But how's it going to practice with workouts, getting themselves ramped up? We'll hear from Coach Brown. We'll hear from some of the players. We'll do that when we come back on Sacktown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SactownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SactownSports.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
The only place in the morning to get your sports fix.
Live and local.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Jason Ross, Christopher Law, no Carmichael Dave today. Will be back with us on Monday as we continue here on Sacktown Sports. Again, coming up top of the hour, Stiles and Watkins. They'll be in actually at the end of the show as well. A little crosstalk, check in with the guys. We look forward to that, but also so excited for Kings. I mean, it's almost here. Training camp. We had media day on Monday. That was a great day out there. And, you know, the midday show just did an amazing job. Guest after guest after guest. I know the afternoon show ended up with De'Aaron Fox. We heard that on the show yesterday, and we had a couple of guests ourselves that we were able to play for you. It's just fun to see them back. I get the sense, you know, what's Mike Brown's slogan right now? Climbing together is kind of the team slogan. They used to have stack wins. There's always some sort of team theme.
Climbing together is a stretch.
You think so?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Like, it doesn't sound like a basketball or a game.
I mean, the people that have, like, sometimes teams come up with slogans that they, not necessarily the players or the coaches, but like, you know, branding. And it's like, so sometimes it's hard to pull off.
You know what it was for my JV team?
Oh, you guys had one? What was it?
Woo.
No. 2 O's?
No. WEW.
Woo!
Work, encourage, win.
Okay. Did you do it? Did you accomplish it?
I mean, it was said as a joke between all of us.
Oh, it wasn't really one?
No, it was.
Oh.
It was. We had shirts with it and everything.
What's woo? Work? Did you guys check that box? Okay. Did you encourage?
It depends on what the definition of encourage is.
Well, support others. It's like, great job, Chris.
We made fun of each other a lot.
So no.
We did work together as a team, but as a team, we also roasted each other nonstop.
Okay. Did you win?
We did not win.
So you failed. You were best at, sounds like, kind of work and
yes.
kind of encouraging.
Yes.
Not so much the winning.
That was also when our practices were on the blacktop outside of our school.
Then you need the encouragement because it's like, man, the sacrifices.
Have you ever practiced in the rain?
Basketball?
Yeah.
Well, me personally, not as a team. I don't think. No. I still remember this. I've told this story before. I used to, quote unquote, work on my game, whatever that means to anybody. But I was always just shooting, just trying to get better. There was a day I was out at the park
during this time. What you're talking about how many shots do you think you would take a day? Like if you had to take a guess.
I mean, there were literally times where I think I could tell you I would do, this would be later, where I would take probably, I don't know if it was quite 10 spots around the 3-point line, but I would shoot 10 per. So, well, let's say 100 at a, when I'm actually going through like, okay, let's get these shots up and work myself around the perimeter. But I also had probably already shot another 200 or 300 before, I don't know.
Okay.
Let's say 500. And maybe that's high, maybe that's low. But there was a day I'm just out there and it's pouring. I'm the only one at the park. It's just absolute downpouring. It doesn't rain that much in Southern California, but it's just pouring, shooting. There's a guy in this, like a, what are those van, like a bus van that comes by?
Yeah. Volkswagen.
Volkswagen van. He goes, "Hey kid, what are you doing? It's raining." And I'm like, "I know, I'm shooting. I'm getting my shots up or whatever." And he's like, and then just drove away. I'm like, "You don't think I knew it was raining?" Like, what was his point? Yeah, I guess I could go home.
It would have been great. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh man, thank you, sir.
I mean, I'm drenched. The ball's wet. It's like, yeah, I'm past the point where like it didn't bother me anymore. It's like, hey, you're sweating. Yeah, I'm sweating. It's raining. Yes, I'm in it. It's snowing. Raw sewage. Love it.
I love it.
My goodness. Climbing together is what the Kings are trying to do. Let's hear from Mike Brown himself as practice has been underway. Here's Mike Brown on what Keon is providing for the team right now.
Will catch a shooter, and if you leave him open, he'll make you pay. In the catch and shoot shot from the 3-point line, he shot 40-some% from three in both years. So for us, that is a little bit of a factor. Making sure that we put the right combinations on the floor that fit, and instead of just trying to throw guys out there because we think those guys can all score the best, and so it's a little bit of a factor. But at the end of the day, that's kind of what training camp's about, and the preseason's about, and practices are about, because anything can happen at any time.
Yeah, and that was about putting Keon in the starting lineup, and he is in the training camp starting lineup. And I think the reasons, as you heard there a little bit, are, look, between Fox, Sabonis, and DeRozan, you got some high volume kind of possession guys, whereas Keegan Murray's not that. And if Keon Ellis, who, by the way, now in 2 years has shot the ball efficiently beyond the arc and defended at a high clip, and then your options. What are your options to be the two guard? Well, Kevin Huerter is not cleared for practice. Obviously, Malik Monk, and Mike Brown has more than made it a point to bring Malik Monk off the bench. And I think the other way they could go is maybe put Trey Lyles in as a starter and kind of slide some people down. But Trey's not 100%. So I think logically everything makes sense for Keon being the starter at the moment. Maybe he keeps that job. Who knows? But let's hear Keon kind of talking about being that starter in training camp.
I don't know. It's kind of crazy to look at, but I still have to take the challenges, guarding our shiftier guards that aren't in the starting lineup. So, any chance I get to kind of guard Malik or, Boog, who's kind of smaller, but he's still fast. Mason kind of brings a different aspect to the game. So any chance that I can kind of get to guard someone who brings a little bit of a difference, I think that still helps. But, it's kind of crazy to think about, honestly.
All right, that's some comments there from practice yesterday from Keon Ellis. Now, I mentioned Kevin Huerter. We had a chance to talk to Kevin. Hopefully heard that interview. A lot of fun talking to him, checking in with Red Velvet every year that we get to, or anytime we get to talk to him. But he's still recovering, still trying to get cleared. Let's hear from Mike Brown talking about Kevin Huerter.
It's tough because he can't do anything live. And even he wears the red jersey like he's Brock Purdy. Even though right now he makes more money than Brock Purdy, but next year he won't. But he wants to be out here as much as he can.
He does. And, Coach savvy on the other sports. Good. We know Coach is a big fan of a lot of other things, seeing him around this community and at Sac State games, high school games, and certainly connections with the 49ers as well. Yeah, it's got to be. You could tell it's frustrating for Herter. He wants to be back. He had significant surgery, and he hopes to get a preseason game in. That was the target that he told us. So hopefully that's something that can happen for him. How about Keegan Murray? How about his role on the court for the upcoming year?
Yeah, I mean, defensively it's going to be the same. Just be on the best player on the other team, and then offensively, just be able to be more consistent, hitting open shots. And if I'm in a rhythm, just keep that rhythm, things like that. So just continue my aggression on both ends of the floor.
Well, Keegan would add about what he thinks he can do defensively and on his defense.
Yeah, once again, it's a work in progress thing. So, I mean, my rookie year, I was rough guarding the perimeter, and then once I got experience with that, I became a lot better. So, I feel like it's an experience thing, and I feel like once I get experience in that, I'm gonna be a really good defender against bigger guys, against smaller guys. So, I'm excited for the opportunity.
I like confident Keegan.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. And there is something to be said. Look, any parallels at your job, high school, whatever, year one, anything that's new, it's weird, it's different. Year two, you feel a little better. By year three, like, Keegan's ready. I mean, he's ready to go.
I also don't know how much people realize how much his game has changed from college to
for sure
the Kings. And so now that he knows this role and he's getting more comfortable with it, hopefully he could really stand out.
Yeah, I mean, I remember, so when the Kings were picking that year at 4, and, you're looking at different people, and Keegan Murray's name was mentioned as a player they could possibly take. I remember watching some stuff, and I'd seen Iowa play, but didn't have a lot of takeaways from that. And then I watched more of Keegan Murray. And man, this guy, he was kind of a double-double machine. He was a rebounder. He could shoot, but he was getting a lot of post work, a lot of points in the paint, and was kind of a physical player. And then when he was hitting all these threes as rookie, I'm like, I didn't know he could shoot like that.
Nobody knew he was going to break the rookie three-point record.
And then last year, his percentages were down, but I'm like, you just know that he's so capable. And then here he is. When he had that 47-point game, that was just absolutely unbelievable. Let's get one more thought. The newest part of the Kings is DeMar DeRozan. This guy's going to be a Hall of Famer. He's new to Sacramento. Let's hear Keon Ellis talk about his thoughts on DeMar DeRozan.
I haven't really seen too much of it, but I know for sure that when those guys have the ball, DeMar, Domas, all of our guys, that the shots are going to come because you just have to help. So you're not going to play those guys one-on-one a lot. So I know I'll get my shots off that. So it's really just a matter of being ready to knock it down and just keep having the faith to keep shooting.
Yeah, I think it's about playing with those guys and where his role will be. And so DeMar DeRozan will be a nice fit, I think, for the Kings' overall totality of the squad. I think as a positive outlook, that's for sure.
I would love to see Ellis as like a Bowen type of player of just lock down who you're guarding and then just be open for a three.
That's why I still, I know Dave's had some pushback on the defense. The defense was better last year. And I think if Keon starts the year with Keegan and Fox, like it's not, I'm not saying they're the best defense in the league, but I think it's just better. I think they're just going to be better defensively, and I think that's going to be important to their long-term success. All right, what to watch? We've got that coming up. Still crosstalk with Styles and Watkins in our final half hour of today's show. That's all straight ahead on Sacktown Sports.
The only place you'll find De'Aaron Fox is Sacktown Sports.
Spins away from the defender, in the paint, soft floater. That's a great play by De'Aaron Fox.
Hey, Sacramento, it's De'Aaron Fox, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
It's important to know who can help you out if you're in a position of need, right? That's a helpless feeling if something went wrong and you don't know where to go, you don't know who to call, you don't know who can help you. Well, that's what I'm hoping this does for you. If you're in a position where you need some representation, here's someone you should call. It's Jonathan Gonzalez. He's got an office in downtown. He's in Sacramento. He lives here. He's in the community. He's on the river. He's a golfer. He's got family here. He's got his kids. He's raising them here. He's one of us. He's a Sacramentan, and he is big in this area of need, of who you want to call when you need some help. SacLegalDefense.com is the website. The phone number is 916-304-9187. So maybe something happened a long time ago. You're young, maybe made a mistake, and that mistake is still following you, and something that you'd like removed from your record, and you never thought you could have it removed from your record. Well, some things are possible. Why don't you call Jonathan Gonzalez and find out? He does expungements. Auto accidents, sadly, they happen every day, all the time. And maybe it's something where you feel like, hey, I need some representation, someone to help me out in this case. Well, again, Jonathan Gonzalez, SacLegalDefense.com. Wrongful termination cases, that happens all the time. And you feel an injustice there. Who can help you out? Who will go to bat for you? Jonathan Gonzalez, 916-304-9187. Know the name, know where you call, know who to get to, know who you can get a response from. Again, that's the law offices of Jonathan Gonzalez at SacLegalDefense.com, 916-304-9187.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
When it comes to fighting for families and protecting kids, no one works harder than our Assemblyman, Josh Hoover. A member of the Bipartisan Problem Solvers Caucus, Hoover has worked across party lines and proposed tougher penalties for fentanyl crimes, stricter sentences for drug trafficking near schools, and RILA's law to make sure anyone who abuses a child is held accountable. A former school board member, Josh has fought to support school police officers, prohibit homeless encampments near schools, and increase funding for school facilities. Josh Hoover knows that families have been paying more for everything from gas and groceries to utilities and insurance. In the Assembly, Josh is working to provide relief to families, reduce the cost of housing, and stop Gavin Newsom from raising gas prices even more next year. Josh Hoover is making a difference for our families, our community, and our future. Our voice, our Assemblyman, Josh Hoover.
Paid for by Hoover for Assembly 2024.
Lowe's knows that to win the job, pros need the best prices. That's why only at Lowe's, MVP's Pro Rewards members can get a volume discount on eligible orders as low as $1,500 at the Pro Desk. That means you get the prices you need to start any job, small or large, because Lowe's knows pros. Valid in-store only. More terms and restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms or Pro Desk for details.
Progressive presents 10 things on a contractor's to-do list that are harder than getting a commercial auto insurance quote. Bidding a new client, giving an accurate estimate, finding affordable materials, getting a client to pay you for work you already did, getting a client to pay you, period, securing permits and workers and tools, getting those workers and tools to work together, and finding the perfect pair of overalls. Pockets, baby. But the easiest thing on a small business owner's to-do list? Seeing if you can save on commercial auto insurance. Get a quote in as little as 7 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage subject to policy terms and conditions.
Don't let summer energy slip away. Live the active life you love year-round with a personally fit arch support system from the Good Feet store. Precision engineered to support all 4 arches. Good Feet puts your feet in a more ideal, comfortable, and pain-free position. And Good Feet arch supports are now HSA and FSA eligible. Book a free fitting at goodfeet.com or come in and get a free pair of OS First Performance socks. Free. Normally a $25 value at the Good Feet store.
Made a Chevy Silverado blowout is on with $12,750 off MSRP. Every new 2024 Silverado half-ton LT in stock after rebates. Or choose $12,000 off MSRP on every new 2024 Silverado half-ton RST in stock after rebates. Exclusively at Made a Chevy at MadeAChevy.com. Sacramento's Silverado headquarters. Whatever Silverado you choose, you'll save thousands at Made a Chevy. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing, lease, and some other offers. List during a 2010 model year or newer. Ends 10/31/24.
Carmichael Dave.
He has very good sources, and he just kind of tells it as it is and gets to the point.
Jason Ross.
He has a lot of pretty smart things to say.
He's good at what he does.
On Sacktown Sports.
All right, 30 minutes left of the show. This is where I appreciate people checking in at different times, right? Paul is a regular, Paul Riddle. He said he was catching up, and Chris, you mentioned Caballo Blanco earlier in the show. Said above Caballo Blanco at 24th and Fruit Ridge was a nightclub that Ike and Tina Turner, James Brown, and a lot of other greats played.
I feel like my family.
Did they know that?
I hope that they did not know about that.
Well, AB below that, my grandpa told me about that in the 60s and 70s. I guess that happened.
Interesting.
I mean, there are some pretty cool stories of stuff like that going on. You just go, wait, what? They played here, there, that time?
That's like Cattleman's was that over by Sac State. That's been like a different place like every couple of years.
Yeah, it's not that now. So what? Okay.
But I want to say like No Doubt had one of their first concerts there.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy.
I'm sure Dave has like, I remember him talking about like the different, like before they became famous type of concerts out there.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, is there anybody like that you ever saw or heard from or watched early on, like really kind of before they became a really big deal?
No. Like different like bands that I got into, I saw them early, but nothing that became big.
You know, there's sometimes like
what's crazy, for my mom's birthday, I got her ticket. This is like before Taylor Swift was what Taylor Swift is now, but she was playing at Arco Arena.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, could you get me tickets for that for my birthday?" And like with our connections, we could get tickets at like reasonable price. I'm like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." So I get her a couple of tickets. And it wasn't until like recently she's like, "Oh yeah," she's like, "It was Taylor Swift, and she had a guy that opened for her. It was this like, I think he was English. He had red hair." And I'm like, "Ed Sheeran?" And she's like, "Ed Sheeran, that's it." I'm
wow,
like,
what a show at that time, right? My goodness. Yeah. There was something, I was really young. I just started here, and maybe not just started, but a couple years in. And I remember I went out to Arco Arena to do some sort of interview, but there was also like, hey, will you also like I was there to interview somebody, but it's like, hey, will you do us a favor and also interview this person and put them on? It might've been like back when we had Kings Talk or Monarchs Talk. And I'm like, okay. I mean, that's sure. And I don't even remember who the first person was. The second person was Pink. But at the time was like, she's coming, and it's like, it's also an add-on to this show. I'm like, okay.
Oh, man.
Whoever, Pink?
Those
okay.
times reminded me of the concert commercials that we would have that would start with the King season, then go into Monarchs.
Yes.
And then get a
Go
little
back
bit
to the King season again.
to where it puts the Country in the Park commercials to shame.
Yes.
We knew all of the Killers songs.
Because the show would have been like in October. So it ended the back half of the King season, all of the Monarch season, and then the next King season, it was still on. You're like, this commercial? Those were the days. Those were the days. All right, what to watch today? Well, Chris is suggesting the documentary on Netflix, Vince McMahon.
And also, is that Grotesquery?
Has that started? I know it's coming up. I don't know if that started yet. I would say check out now I need to get the right title because I've been talking about it incorrectly. Let me get it correctly here from
Oh, it's already started. The first episode was September 25th.
Of Grotesquery?
Yep.
Okay.
I will have to check that out.
Let me see what this is called. Fight Night, the $1 Million Heist. That's been fun to watch. You can check that out, but you also have sporting events. You got Thursday Night Football, the Buccaneers and the Falcons right here on Sacktown Sports. You'll be able to hear it there. Baseball, we do have one game 3, a deciding series. Win and move on, lose and go home. Mets and Brewers, game 3. That series tied at 1 apiece. So check those things out. Those will be your viewing options. Are you on any other series or documentaries or anything like that right now?
I've been told about a couple, but I haven't started them yet. But I think I'm gonna have to watch. I'm a Mets guy. I got to see them advance.
Yeah. Mets and Brewers. So you would prefer the Mets? Oh yeah, you had said that a while ago. You want the Mets to.
As soon as the playoffs, I decided I will pick a team.
Yeah, you took the Mets.
It's because of Grimace.
Yes. And, it would be cool for them to get some home games. Obviously, this one will be in Milwaukee. Milwaukee has never won a World Series, so that would be cool if they were able to do it. But Mets and Brewers, Game 3 today.
I want the Brewers to fail.
Today. Yeah.
Today.
But if they were to win, would you then take on the Brewers?
No.
Okay.
And specifically for old host here, Rami Makloff.
Oh, yeah.
Who has this thing he calls Makloff magic to, once I get to someplace, the team start doing well. He took credit for the Kings. So him moving back to Milwaukee.
He's taking credit for that?
And it's going to be like, no, they got shut down. They got stomped out.
Yeah.
It wasn't because of you.
So you will point that out to him on social media?
Yes.
Sure, or his own text.
I might even clip this out right now and send it to him.
Shout out, Rami. What's up, Rami? So those are the events today to check out today. Buccaneers and Falcons, Mets and Brewers. All right, break time for us. We do have a final segment ahead. We always look forward to this, see what's going on with Styles and Watkins, what they got coming up for their show. And let me see what our birthday list looks like today. Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good today on this October 3rd. We'll see how Chris and Alan all do. And you guys can play along at home as well. I know you do, and figure out who's turning what today. We've got that all coming up in our final segment. That is next on Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
When an overwhelmed injury victim calls Ashton or Price, we immediately remove their legal burden and introduce them to the very best medical care in the region. They focus on their health, and we handle all the rest. When they reach the end of their medical journey and are reunited with happiness and hope, we unleash our decades of legal experience to obtain maximum compensation. We are real, local, experienced litigators and snappy dressers too. Consultation's free, and there's never a fee until we win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Model year end pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the model year end event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Get ready to hit the gas on the best power tool deals of the year at Fastener's Tool Outlet. We're revving up the savings with our full throttle one-day DeWalt sale in Sacramento on October 12th only. We are slashing prices on a huge selection of DeWalt power tools like cordless drills, saws, combo kits, and more at costs you won't believe. Get better tools for better prices only at Fasteners Inc., Sacramento's top destination for DeWalt tools. Again, that's October 12th only on Power Inn Road. For more info, go to fastenersinc.net.
You've seen him on the roast of Tom Brady, and you've heard him host the #1 podcast in the world, Kill Tony. Now see Tony Hinchcliffe perform stand-up comedy live at the venue at Thunder Valley, Friday, October 11th. The man behind millions of views worldwide and countless sold-out shows brings his stand-up set to you, Tony Hinchcliffe. Critics call him a must-see. Don't miss this stand-up comedian, writer, podcast host, and professional wordsmith live in Sacramento. Tony Hinchcliffe. Get tickets at Thunder Valley Resort.
It's time for the news of the day.
The latest headlines, the biggest stories, hard-hitting analysis.
Yeah, this is none of those things.
And now,
here's Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross.
All right, no Dave today. As we said earlier, he'll be back with us tomorrow. On Monday. We'll get Styles and Watkins in here in just a moment. And let's check in on a couple of, what is today? October the 3rd. I don't know what national day it is today. Let's see.
Mean Girls today.
What about it? It's Mean Girls Day?
Yeah, the guy she liked said, "Oh, what's the date?" And she said, October 3rd.
Oh, you're right. It is Mean Girls Day. I see that here. National Boyfriend Day. National Unity Day, Back Care Awareness Day.
That's every day.
Yeah, exactly. Buy British Day. Lots of things are going on today on this day, October 3rd. Hi, guys. Here comes Styles.
Well, look who decided to show up.
They're ready. They are ready to go. I think you probably need to move this. They are ready for their show today. Another bang-out show. It's good to have Chris back, too. Chris Watkins in the house.
Disagree.
You disagree?
Very much disagree.
Everything good? You good?
Great. Yeah, just kind of needed a
day.
Get the health right, and
Yeah.
feeling much better today.
Oh, Nate, was that good yesterday, huh?
I never really understood the single sick days.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I can leave today.
Like in school. You know what I mean?
I never
Could be
understand
sick
people,
for a day.
missing a whole week and then coming back on Friday.
Friday. I was going to say there is
Yeah.
a counter to that one, Alan.
Yeah.
You did come back for one day of off of vacation, and you explained it, but could have just went out one more
I
day.
don't really understand that one either.
Okay,
To be honest with
but you did it.
I did do it.
How are you guys?
I did do it. Great.
Good.
Yeah.
Apparently, I should miss another day though. So
We're
Great.
finally. I'm just saying, and I've always thought that as a child, right? A sick day as a child. In school.
Did you guys ever try to get out of school by faking sick?
No, I love
never.
school.
No.
No, I literally never wanted to miss school. I had really good attendance.
I did too. I was more of a. It was usually.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you.
It was
Chris is
usually,
gonna hit it. Go in there and hit it himself.
So what would you do?
Please.
What would the ploy? I don't feel good.
Like, can anyone really prove your stomach hurts?
Yeah.
Can anyone really?
Did your parents buy it every time?
Probably not every time.
Yeah.
But my dad's a nice guy.
Yeah, he's like, just stay
like,
home, feel better.
But then what would you do? All your friends are at school.
Not go to school.
You find things to
Watch The Price is Right.
Yeah.
You
watch.
miss
Watch
out
like
on
the
everything.
eighth rerun of SportsCenter that day.
I feel like I'm missing out. I'd miss out on so much.
Yeah.
No, I think the kids in school were definitely more jealous of me than me jealous of them being in school.
You know what was the big one though? I think the more swagged out situation was if you had an appointment and you roll in with McDonald's.
Those kids.
Those kids.
Oh yeah, that was
Wait, you bring the bag of food
Yeah.
in?
Oh,
You don't
yeah.
know about
Everybody
this? After the
smells it.
dentist?
Everybody
yeah.
smells it.
It's the
Everybody
worst.
smells it.
And it would usually be after lunch.
Right.
And they're
Oh,
just
my God.
sliding in and they just take it to their desk.
Now that one,
I think this might be more of a generational thing. So that
Probably.
was pretty common.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Very common. And
So
it was
they-
always McDonald's too.
So
Yeah,
always
McDonald's, so
McDonald's.
wink, wink. Well, no, they went to a doctor's
Yeah.
appointment, whatever, dentist,
And so that was
doctor's.
another layer too, is they would leave at 10:30
Right.
or something for an
Come back at
appointment,
1.
come back
and
at
everyone's
1.
wondering when is he coming
Yeah.
back. And
I
then he
remember
come back.
asking my mom, I'm like, can you bring me McDonald's to school? And she's like, no.
So then
I'm not taking off of work to bring you
How's it
McDonald's.
work? Jimmy's in class and just rips open the bag and is chowing down on a Big Mac?
Yeah.
No.
You just, walk
Yeah,
in.
I would try to time it with lunch, so then everyone can look at their terrible lunch.
But
And
then,
you
like,
get-
the teacher has the assumption that, maybe they were in, the appointment during the time in which lunch happened, and so I'm not
You
going
gotta
to tell the kid to not eat.
Yeah, you
I
gotta
keep it,
eat.
you
With
know?
with my school, it was usually like the last class before lunch, and then they would get picked up and they would miss that. Then they miss lunch and they come back.
You're right.
So it's
With-
understandable to need lunch, but they don't eat in the car. They bring it to
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring it to class.
I
make
gotta bring it
everybody
to
jealous.
class, and everybody.
And I think
wondering.
it's had to have been one person did it, and then every other
Yeah.
kid was
Yeah.
like, all
But
right.
then isn't,
That's
hey, Chris, give me a fry.
Oh yeah, I know.
Oh,
I'll
yeah,
give you a
for
Oh,
sure.
try.
absolutely.
And then they're sharing.
But then, there's no eating in class besides the exception.
It would,
Yeah.
the teacher would be like, guys,
They had a doctor's
let
appointment.
Eric eat.
Yep.
We
He's
need
hungry.
to concentrate
And
on
then, you
reading
give-
right
you-
now.
Yeah.
You look at your crush, and the crush wants a fry.
Yeah, you're like,
Give the crush 2 fries.
you know what? Yeah,
You
maybe
know?
3.
Maybe 3. Well, maybe.
So the rest of you open your textbooks to page 38.
Yeah.
Greasy
Alan-
fingers.
Alan, can you keep it down back
Yeah.
there? My bad.
Yeah, sure. I will. It's good.
I can read if you want.
He keeps asking me for fries.
I know. I mean, I'm not.
It's not me.
Yeah.
It's not me. Yeah.
Is there ever a
Good times.
soft serve when there? I guess that would melt, huh?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
shake.
Yeah, you don't want to be insulting.
Yeah,
that's
right.
too
That's-
much.
that's
eat
too
your
far.
McDouble.
That's too easy.
Eat your McDouble.
I had a McDouble, I think, a couple weeks ago. Not hitting like they used to.
Yeah. It's probably more of a nostalgic
It doesn't
thing
even
than-
taste like meat.
That's probably because it's not $1 anymore.
That's where
That's also-
branding
it's like
is good.
$5
Though,
now.
like as a kid, can we go to McDonald's? Like it's okay.
Yeah.
But as a kid, like just the thought of going to McDonald's sounded great.
Yeah. I remember being in the midst of, well, it was, I guess, not a growth spurt, but, when I was growing in other ways. And I remember the Big Mac just not being that big. And getting one of my first Big Macs and just thinking, this is not as big as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Because it's still, it's like a
It's
compact.
yeah,
but
it's like a
it's
tower.
tall. Yeah. It's,
Oh, last time I had
It's
a Big
not, but then
I
I remember like in the Whopper more because that had some girth on it. That had some width.
You can have it your way.
I did. Whoa.
What's coming up on the show today?
More of that.
Chris is back, so Chris is going to do a lot of cooking today. I'm just going to kind of chill out.
Alan's sick.
Good to know.
That's right. But we have some more interviews that we're going to play. We have the Devin Carter interview. Yeah. We have the Kevin Herter interview as well towards the end. We'll still probably play Keegan Murray because we really did like it, and we want to make sure that our listeners get to it as well. Plenty of Devonte Adams drama. We had Vic Tafer on yesterday, and he dropped a little nugget. If you're a fan of them boys, be on the lookout for the Dallas Cowboys and one Devonte Adams. And a lot of this coming out, something that I don't think a lot of people are going to agree with. Bleacher Report put out a list of, they ranked all the starting fives in the NBA. I don't think Kings fans are going to like where the Kings are.
So I'm guessing it's not that high.
It should be higher.
Yeah, interesting. I'm excited about this team. I don't know ultimately what that's going to mean, where they're going to end up. I'm excited going into this year. I'm really looking forward to it.
I have a lot of confidence. And I do not like to have confidence with teams that I'm close with. And I really think that this team, more than others, I feel like people are just not fully seeing the full picture. Like I really think people aren't properly excited enough for DeMar DeRozan.
Like outside of here.
Yeah.
I think
Or
even
here.
inside of here as well. Yeah. I don't know if people fully understand how good DeMar is. Like, I think you say Hall of Fame career, and I think people are like, oh yeah, okay, sure. But I don't think of him as a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
And I think he's undeniably a Hall of Famer.
And I've said the list, and I don't have it in front of me anymore, but like a couple times, like if he has a standard DeMar DeRozan year, the amount of names and the people we're going to hear that he passes on the scoring list are going to stagger people this year. Yeah. Like when you say he's the 33rd all-time scorer, oh, okay. Yeah, but he's going to go by amazing names this year.
Yeah, he's going to be top 20.
And this isn't the final year of his career.
Right.
So,
right.
I mean, I'm excited to see what he'll be for the squad.
They sound excited at training camp too.
They do.
They make it sound like, I mean, it's a perfectly oiled machine going on over there, and they're like, this does not happen 2 days into camp.
And even with some things that are frustrating, I think that Herter's not healthy right now. Yeah. Lyle's starting the year injured a little bit, and then I wish Carter was available. Like that's one of the exciting things about preseason is to see a rookie, to see what they look like.
Yeah, I spoke about this yesterday. I'm really worried, and we played the Monty McNair interview. Then we also played Monty McNair's response to the length question, as far as specifically with the Pelicans, but just in general. I need to see what the backup wing position is with Trey Lyles. We saw this story last year, and maybe we spoke to him during media day, said everything is, he was kind of quick about it, kind of short about his, the recovery. He just says everything is going to plan. I think he's getting reevaluated in 2 or 3 weeks. So, we've seen this story before, and we can go to Jalen McDaniels. His name was brought up when Monty got asked the question. And if we're putting our eggs in his basket as one of the backup wings, hopefully it's found money.
Yeah, you guys talked to him, right?
Yeah.
McDaniels? Yeah. How was he?
He was pretty good. Yeah, he was pretty good. I think he was a little shy, but he definitely opened up.
I've said the thought of him is the right thought. Like his size is the results have not been. Now, new team.
Well,
maybe
Philly, he was
better there.
He was better there. I do think he's another guy who he understands that I don't want to call this last chance you. Yeah. But it's pretty close to last chance you for people giving him chances. So when you get somebody motivated, we know, that's just the human, the human mindset. I think we're going to get at least the best effort from him. Good. Will it translate? We'll have to wait.
Yeah. The best years of the Kings in the early 2000s, like Pollard came here, refound his career. Bobby Jackson, like they a good group, made the other guys better. That's what
Look
I
at
hope
Malik Monk
here.
in some capacity.
True. Yeah, for sure. All right, guys, let's do it. It's time for celebrity birthdays.
I'm hot today.
Already. The hottest one here, right? You're on a streak. Birthdays are meant to be spent with family and friends, and nothing brings family and friends together quite like Crumble cookies and all Crumble products. Guys, let's start with let's go with the movie on this date, October 3rd of what year? School of Rock. Jack Black.
Let's watch that over the summer.
Interesting.
It's a tough one.
I haven't seen that in a long time. I liked it.
It's so good. Yeah, it's good. That's a good watch.
I'm going to say 2004.
I was going to go 06. I'm going to stick with 06.
I'll say 2005.
Chris Verlotta's the closest. 03.
All
right. Happy birthday today to Gwen Stefani.
Hey, baby. Hey, baby.
Yes.
No doubt.
Yes,
no doubt you got that right.
Yeah.
Second no doubt mentioned today.
Is it really?
True, yes.
Wow.
Gwen Stefani,
Great reggae.
she was on The Voice at one point.
Still is, I think.
I think they were.
I
don't know.
Snoop
Snoop
Dogg
is on
and
it now.
Reba and Michael Bublé.
Yeah, those are the four.
You know, that's what I say when I get a bogey, Michael Bublé.
Oh, okay.
You like that one? All right. Gwen Stefani, no clue. I'm going to say 50 on the nose.
50 on the nose.
Yeah, we'll say 52. I'm sorry.
Ooh, that's what I was going to go with.
Okay.
I'm going to say 53. Maybe she was 52 last year.
Christopher Lotta's the closest.
Oh, no.
55.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah, good.
Happy birthday, CJ Stroud.
Oh, no.
Oh,
See, someone's got to get this. He was at Ohio State for what? 3 years?
10 minutes.
Yeah. 2 years or 3 years?
I could see him being like one of the CJ Stroud's actually would have been the youngest quarterback in this draft class too.
38.
I don't know.
I mean, he's either 23 or 24, right? There's no way he's 25.
Your answer is your answer.
I think he's 23 feels young, but I'm going to go 23. Or he just turned 24.
I'll say 25.
I'll say 24.
I wanted to go 26.
We have a correct answer, and it goes to Alan Stiles.
There we
23.
go. Trust the process.
Wow. Happy birthday to Dennis Eckersley.
As
he should. What the heck?
That is a tough
I might be way off.
Yeah, I think I might too. I'll say 68.
Wearing the A's hat. That's a good answer. Stomper.
Yeah.
63.
Let's say 73.
No.
What was your guess?
68.
Chris Watkins is closest, 70.
Ooh, on the nose. I missed my nose.
Happy birthday to, Tommy Lee.
VHS.
Not sure how old the organs are, but how old is Tommy Lee?
Nice.
57.
I was going to say 58.
60 on the nose.
Christopher Lotta's closest, 62.
Oh.
And let's go with, who do you guys want to pick? Nev Campbell, Dave Winfield, Bruce Arians, Jonathan Isaac, or Anquan Bolden?
Nev Campbell is 51.
Right on. All right. Yeah. All right, Chris, you pick one from that list.
I'll go
Winfield.
Bruce Arians.
Okay.
Why not? I'll say Bruce Arians is 57.
Wow, 72.
Okay. He looks great.
Who was the
Dave
last one?
Winfield, Jonathan Isaac, or Anquan Bolden?
Anquan Bolden. Man, what a receiver. he's 47.
44.
Bruce Arians used to coach at Temple University.
I did know that. He is older than 57.
Yes. Long time.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. All right, guys, have a great show.
Thank you.
We'll do it again tomorrow.
72?
72. I might have written. Maybe he's 27.
Hell.
Who knows? All right, that's it for us. Stiles and Watkins coming your way next.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento.
Get your Kings fix all season long right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings. Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.